Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SOFLO SLAM 2. It has been a great tournament so far, and we are here on day 2 to determine our third place winner and our grand finals winner. I am your host, Crash, joined by my co-host, Techni. And Techni, both of these teams that are in this particular game to determine our third place winner have had an arduous road to this point. Let's walk through it.
Yeah, let's take a look at this previous bracket. Onslaught actually going to get that first bye in their first round, playing off against Gifted and Youthful in their match 3, but losing to Notorious, who are going to be in their grand finals later tonight, 0-2. Similarly, House Platypus Esports Club, they actually fought their way through the bracket, not getting that bye, fighting Day Traders in round 1, Dink in round 2, and then F5 in round 3, getting 2 zeros in both those previous matches, and the last one getting 2-0 themselves by House Platypus.
Yeah, making it past... Yeah, making it past Dank is absolutely no small potatoes. Make no mistake, that Platypus Esports Club, they belong here. But let's kind of flip the script a little bit on the other side of this game. But yeah, this other side of the bracket has had a pretty tough journey as well, and from what I understand, they've been here before. Is that true? Fair enough. I mean, like he makes a very good argument. I can't really make any argument against that. Both these teams obviously had a very arduous journey up until this point, and one of them will claim the honor of being third place here at SOFLO SLAM 2. Hopefully these games are just as entertaining. Right, let's talk about map pools, right? Not really sure. We're going to take, it looks like the map bans have finished. So it looks like we're going to be playing on Nuke first, and that is going to be interesting. Nuke, one of those maps where verticality comes into play a lot. With Vertigo being out of the pool, this is really one of the only maps left in relevancy that has this sort of issue, right? With the way they've changed the bomb as of recently. A whole slew of new tactics have been developed by the boys down on pretty much every front to try and extract every bit of strategy they can out of this map. It's definitely one that is very controversial. You either love it or you hate it. I'm not going to knock you for having either opinion. I mean, I'm kind of neutral on the map myself, but you know, there have been many a CT player who have been absolutely steamrolled on ramp and cried out in agony and said that they would never play the map again. So definitely valid reasons to not like it, definitely valid reasons to like it, and you know, we'll just have to see how it goes from there.
Yeah, Nuke's been a really interesting map to play ever since the changes with the bomb. Seeing how people exit, you see a lot more exits out ramp, a lot more people willing to go toward the A site, look for those picks, chase down some of these remaining players on the CT side, on T side, if you're trying to get some of these exits out of the way. It's a really cool map. I'm loving the way that this new bomb is actually playing out, and you know, it's interesting to see. I think on the other maps, we're looking at Ancient and Mirage. There's actually maps that both these teams played in the previous games, losing both of them 2-0. It's a little bit interesting. Ancient Mirage, at least on the House Platypus side, those are two maps, again, they play quite frequently, but they're willing to both ban and pick them. It's a little bit strange there. And then the House Platypus side, or rather on the Onslaught side, they had a bit stronger showing on both those maps. So for me, I feel like both these latter maps are going to be kind of sort of grudge maps that they lost in their previous showing, the maps that got them here into this third place decider.
Yeah, no, you're 100%. Right? Once you start getting to this point in your career as a Counter-Strike player, you got to start being able to play every map, right? You can't have an insta-ban at this level. You got to be ready for anything, and I think that's what these teams are trying to prove right here, right now, with the inconsistencies regarding these two maps. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out going further into this series. But yeah, you've absolutely got to have a lot of depth in your map pool, and I think these teams are showing that right here. Let's go ahead and go over the starting rosters for tonight. So bringing up, I believe this is Platypus Esports Club. We've got Alpha, Connor, Bobby Bryant, Ball, and Blaine. A lot of B words in that roster. And then bringing up Onslaught is Crunky, Adam RS, Tori, Stobel, and Even. Looking like we are going to have a pretty good game here. They're warming up right now, but we should be underway within the hour.
On the House Platypus side, I really think Alpha is going to be the one that we're going to be looking out for. Really having a lot of standout matches, not just in these previous matches they've played so far, but honestly on the roster as a general, right? He's looked really, really strong. I believe last game against in the first game against Day Traders, he put up some really, really good numbers in the previous match that got them here. He actually was the only player to, I believe, put more than like 20 kills across on that last map. So had a good showing so far. You're going to see a little bit more from him, and I think that's the player we're going to be looking for, at least on the House Platypus side.
Yeah, no, 100%. That is gonna be the man to watch out for. One thing I also want to point out: you've only got a little bit of time left to vote in the poll in chat on, and maybe even bet some channel points on it, on who is gonna win here in between these two teams. So go ahead and place your votes now. We'd love to hear your voice in our voting system. Now, with that being said, House Platypus look like they are going to be forfeiting this here knife round. And yeah, there's really just not much else to say regarding that. So it looks like they're going to be starting out on the T side here. T side nuke, what's something you got to keep in mind here?
Seaside nuke, it's really just going to be taking that control of outside, not letting CTs get too much control of either ramp or outside. You're going to have to play with your smokes, bait out a lot of that utility. Really make sure that the CTs are on their toes, not let them get in a secret too early. It's one of the things, if you could cheat a player away from the A side and help out on the outside, or push a player to the outside position, that's going to be something really that you're going to see. You want to push that op around, put a lot of pressure on the garage area, toward the Zaiwu area outside, towards heaven. How much freedom are you giving that op on that CT side is the question. So you want to keep that pressure on the opper and keep him moving.
Yeah, I think another thing that is also important to keep in mind for this map in particular, that door, right? That door on the A site, you got to blow that open every round if you're on T side. You got to create that artificial pressure for the CTs to really work. Yeah, it's a great camera angle. Looks like we're going to see a quick outside play from House Platypus Esports Club. The smokes rain in. One is successful. However, there will be a gap on one side. Muffed smokes at this level. Oh, maybe they're not muffed. Maybe they're doing this intentionally. They flash through, and now they pour into Mini. The A site under threat immediately. Adam RS tries to take him with the double pistols. Finds one. Alphonius answers back. Bobby Bryant takes one as well. And now 3v3 is even, finds one, and the kills continue to rain in as the bodies hit the floor. It's Tori versus 2. Alphonius and Bobby Bryant trying not to throw the round away. Minute 10 left to go. They see him heaven. As a result, the vent drop happens. Now, back down towards ramp. Tori's hoping he can catch him crossing to the B site. They are fully committed. They are going to come out single. He's already heard the door. Now he goes for the plant. Finds the first, not the second. Bobby Bryant is there, makes the play, and saves his team's first round.
Yeah, so they're actually playing for a pretty good inner hit there. I like that. So that first smoke they threw was actually the bleed smoke, or the drip smoke. It lands right on top of Mini. That's a smoke that actually you saw pretty early on from FaZe Clan, early out when CS2 came on out. That smoke allows Swiss to get on out, jump off from top. So what that does is it drops any, it prevents any visuals from the broken side. It lets them sneak right into the A main, and that's exactly what they did. They broke into that site. Meanwhile, though, House Platypus running double dualies on that side out there, or inside the A bomb site, ready for that, stacking up ramp as well. Those are more typical CT, or rather B-side typical rounds. So a pretty interesting play coming out from Onslaught early on, or from House Platypus early on. I think that was actually a cool pistol from them, and Onslaught just weren't quite ready to prepare for a main hit like that. They're looking more for a squeaky, more of a hut, more of a lobby hit, or even ramp, but not so much on that main hit.
Yeah, speaking of like not really ready, Onslaught taking the super long garage angles with those pistols. It was a bold strategy, and we saw how it worked out for him, Cotton. Not exactly ideal fights to be taken with the USPs and no utility. However, the eco is over. Now they stack up with MP9s and utility. So not a super great economic start for them, with the enemy already upgrading rifles and using bonus SMGs. Minute and a half here. Oh, they are pushing into lobby. They are taking so much map control right now. Now they've eliminated the possibility of an A play. They haven't checked out T-Roof. Alphonius finds one elsewhere. Now the control windows have been popped, so they pretty much narrowed it down to a B play here. Fights ring out. We lose audio for a second, but it is only a second. Tori finds one. Alphonius trades him out. So now Tori's got himself a second. Connor will answer back, drops even, and now he's got to try and pick it up in the 3v2. Swinging double. Tori hits the deck. It's Bobby Bryant on the kill. And so now, this is disgusting. Oh, no. Bobby Bryant. That is unfortunate for Stoby. Man, he set that up like a spider web, and Stoby just walked right into it. It's like a nature documentary when you see the lion hunting the herd of gazelle. There's just nothing you could do, and it's just so very sad. But pretty much.
I think the interesting there, I mean, Onslaught is not quite ready to buy up yet, so they've gotten a bunch of SMGs. That's why they're playing so aggressive. They're going for early lobby control, trying to make advantage, or find some advantage because of their weapon disadvantage. In this case, they're going to have that full bias. I'm pretty curious what they're going to see out here. It looks like early off to the outside, 2 players. 1 player already up toward that glaive position, and like I said earlier, 2 players pushing outside, taking a lot of control. Meanwhile, House Platypus still just looking for that lobby, playing it nice and slow, trying to see what's happening. Adam pushed back here into the winning position, so a bit slower from both teams, just trying to play each other out as they burn each other's util out. Connor's going to be that man that they're going to be looking for to get a lot of information. Still rocking that Mac 10 from the round previous, so here's what they're going to pull out here.
Ooh, there's the door. There's the door. They've blown the door. Now Onslaught may potentially be anticipating an A play here. You can see Adam RS and J20 Junior 24 are both looking towards Hut and Squeaky here. Still very paranoid. Stoby hasn't seen anything yet. Adam's going to flash for a quick peek at a garage. This information outside is going to be clear but old, because now as the smoke start raining in, the redirect to secret is obvious. Tori's going to pop the smoke. Nothing comes of it. 47 seconds now. Burning a lot of time.
Still 4 players outside working through it, and yeah, they baited out smokes, and now they get to cross basically for free here. And so with the A pressure still from that squeaky grenade that you talked about.
Yeah. Oh, now they've been heard.
Now they all crossed.
Yep, now they've been heard downstairs. 27 seconds, and the bomb is going to go down for absolutely free. They break the control windows. Even looks like he's setting up to go down, but he's going to be the closest man who can respond, and he's not close enough. Bobby Bryant still stuck in lobby with another man outside. That is going to cause problems on the rotations, but for now, the bomb goes down with 11 seconds to spare. Bobby Bryant finds Junior 24 elsewhere. Now he's taken down by Adam RS. That's the Lobby presence down. 35 seconds left on the bomb as they continue to press forward. Retake. 4v4, pushing from Squeak. Not a lot of options for these ramp players. They kind of just have to go. He's got to get through the fatal funnel, or that Mac 10's going to be a problem. Tori no-scopes him, and now he nearly shoots his teammate, but Blaine handles it for him. They're going to like to fall back, try and save what weapons they can. With 12 seconds left on the bomb, they know it's not likely until they like not to tempt fate. Stoby, unfortunately, is not as lucky to get away. So Tori gets away with the AWP, and House Platypus Esports Club are up to a fantastic T-side start.
Yeah, and equally on the CT side start, or rather T side start we talked about, it's going to be Alpha, the person doing really, really good here, 9-2. On the other side, Bobby Bryant, also someone who pulled out really, really good in some of these previous games, 9-2, 6-1 respectively. On the Onslaught side, earlier you actually talked about that squeaky nade. It's actually getting pretty default. The reason why they throw that nade is to put a lot of pressure on that main player. Suddenly you can't focus on outside. Suddenly you have to be weary of that, the angle, the deep angle that they'd be holding from lobby. It makes that vent lobby, or that vent rotation pretty tricky as well. So it's always a good nade to throw. I feel like most players will be throwing that regardless, just to keep the A players on their toes, force that main player to focus on that and not give so much help to the outside. But this time, SMGs in hands, going to be going for an aggressive play like we saw previous into the lobby. One player, it's going to be Bobby Bryant holding, and one player on the roof as well. But they'll be making lots of noise. They'll be able to hear this.
Yeah, now they hear them push in a lobby. Bobby Bryant's going to be waiting here, but now that they've taken the information right, they are just going to wrap back around ramp. Not going to overextend. I like this play out of Onslaught. They're doing a pretty good job of just trying to keep things as conservative as possible. They've cleared lobby for the time being, but now that they've left it alone, if Platypus moves back inside of lobby, could potentially create some problems. But I think at this level, you understand how old certain information is and how that can affect it. Connor with a spam through the smoke. Now they know they've tried to cross. So back over to the heaven side, as the rest of the CTs group up on B here. Onslaught seem to have made the wrong read. However, the round still has yet to fully play out. Bobby Bryant just hanging out in Hut here, trying to find what he can. Ball gonna stand right behind him. Alphonius opens the round, taking out Tori. That's gonna make it a 4v5. Already in the disadvantage in positioning, and now man disadvantage as well. Mini smoke's gonna be a problem as well. Now they break it for just a moment. As a result, ball finds Adam, and now swinging out of top heaven. Even has to duck behind blue box, and that should just about wrap things up. I think they're just playing for exits at this point. Junior 24 finds Connor, but it feels more like a consolation prize at this point in the game. Mini smoke fades, 20 seconds on the bomb. If they want to go for this, they got to get moving. 15 seconds now. Stoby trying to find this ACN player. Not going to happen. Bobby Bryant and Alphonius both finding kills, and Even's going to find one. A small prize to go into the next round with. And on full HP, I believe he survives the bomb here. And he will. So finds the AK. Not completely dead round for Onslaught, but they have to stop the bleeding and fast.
Yeah, I mean, that previous round, they weren't really looking to win it in the first place, just looking to do some economic damage. This is going to be the round that they come in with. They have the full utility. They have all of the weapons they could possibly want. Tori going to be rocking the op on this side, all the util they can need. It's probably going to be bringing it over to the ramp side again. Again, Alphona's looking good, but... Okay, thought we heard a disconnect? No, okay, we're good on all 5 players. That sound effect always gets
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good round. They're looking to get that gamble again. We see when you're on that low util or low weapons, low util, you have to start making plays elsewhere. They went for the lobby, then they went lower. Unlucky on the gamble side there. House Platypus doing a great job to avoid those group of players. It's like a group of bees, you know. You get stung by one, it might not by too much, but when they all peek at the same time with those MP9s, it gets dangerous. So this time, you're going to be looking for something again here. On this lobby side, 4 players grouped up, 1 player on the outside, just looking for some aggressive plays out of Onslaught, and that's what they've been doing so far. But they're going to be playing back this time. Better weapons, better util, don't need to be as aggressive, and just look to bleed out some of this util. Actually, double ramp setup. I'm liking this. The op actually was here in the round previous, on the previous gun round, but now 2 players here to hold. It's going to be a good crossfire. A little bit of nade as well. So here's how they're going to deal with this, because they like to walk in dry here. We can see what's going to happen. Alphon is taking point with this op.
Contact. Now the first shot's taken. Adam RS finds Alphonius, and he's going to need some more if he wants to stall this ramp push. Now the reinforcements are inbound, but it may not be enough. Bobby Bryant finds one. Adam's got another. Adam's got a triple, and it might be enough. Blaine's got a double. Stovey breaks up the momentum, and now it's Blaine stuck in a 1v2. And it looks like Adam was able to save this round, provided it all goes well from here.
Yeah,
30 seconds, bomb on his back. Blaine now tries to move to clear lobby. Both of the CTs have moved downstairs to Onslaught in the man advantage, but they haven't made the correct read. Now the mini smoke is going to give it away. However, he drops vent and knife out right into their weapon. Oh man, was not expecting that. They played it perfect. Onslaught find their first round.
Yeah, pretty good setup, or pretty good play, or attempt there from that remaining player on House Platypus. You expect the other players to be maybe toward the heaven side, maybe toward the ramp side, especially after you lose control of it. But instead, they play lower, looking to retake up the vent together. Good play from them, and that double ramp hold is weren't quite ready for it. Actually baiting out by getting shot with the op there was actually the catalyst, so that's actually really curious. Had he not found the op shot there and not tagged the player, I don't think they actually go for it. But this time, yeah, that nade on Speak, always dangerous. You have to be weary of it. And it comes out every single round. But ooh, the aggressive play, not going to work out. But another play looking for trade. It's going to be Bobby double up, and the double ramp doesn't quite work this time.
Oh my God, Bobby Bryant's Sixth Sense activates, and he pounces like a panther from the tree line. 1:20 left to go, and it's a 2v5. Onslaught picking up the pieces, thoroughly shredded into this round. And Stovey is just left to scratch his head, wondering where the hell his teammates have gone. And man, no kidding. 4 seconds left, and they are just going to group up. It looks like they're going to end a site here. And there is just not much that they can do. Onslaught just unable to breathe, completely smothered by the House Platypus Esports Club assault. Adam finds Blaine elsewhere. He's going to try and make some noise here from Secret. But with so little time left and so much in the enemy's favor, you wonder if you just fall back and save here.
Could do some damage. I mean, the bleeding's pretty bad right now. 6-1 on your CT side, not what you're going to be looking at, but they're going to have to save out this one. It's pretty unfortunate they do go for that initial ramp play. It's a good play, but it just doesn't quite work out. It doesn't get the op shot. Tori not doing a good job there. Unfortunately, the trade is not available either. Tries to bait it out, tries to police solo, but if you're playing solo with the op there, if there's no chance there's going to be one player just opping on the ramp, they're going to be ready for the second player. I think he waited a little bit too long, hesitated in the swing there, unfortunately. And then, of course, we talked about that squeaky nade again. You have, at this level, that is a ridiculous mistake. You cannot be peeking into that. That is something that operators will always do. If you're not playing in the outside area, they're going to be going for the squeaky pick or the ramp pick. Those are 2 positions. You have the outside control, or rather, you're weary that you're not playing anyone outside, and you also have your ramp players push up. You know that the operator is going to be posted somewhere in lobby. So dying there is, in my opinion, is a ridiculous mistake. That's not something you should be doing, and that just puts a lot of pressure and allows the House Platypus players to swing and just double focus onto that ramp side. So even if the Tori would get the initial op shot, I don't think the getaway is for free. So bit of a mistake coming out from Onslaught. Not what I want to be seeing, but Tori gonna get another chance. Has off out this round. This time though,
Yeah, and oh man, Tori, great shot on the Blaine. It's a shame we missed it. 36, and they have man advantage. Onslaught desperately need it. Ball my God, Ball with a double kill. Evens it back out 3v3 from top silo. And now he leaps down like a helldiver. Opening util completely silenced. They're going to try and mid-round this. So it's an interesting situation for Onslaught that has developed. They have one man outside, one in hell, and then one down on the B site. It's even. So ramp is open, and so is the A site. Bobby Bryant, if he activates here, finds a gap in the defense, could potentially tear open this round. But I don't think that's exactly what he wants to do. He seems like he's playing a little bit more passive for that. Now that he's got Ball with him and the bomb, they may just commit to this A play. With even being so close to this vent, you wonder if he pops up fast and tries to disrupt this play. For the time being, it's looking like it's going to be no, but he's definitely heard them above him. And now the double smoke on Mini. Nade on Stoby. That's big damage, down to 63. That might come in handy here in a moment. They start to plant. It does go down. And another nade, Adam and Stoby down to 35 and 36. They haven't even laid eyes on them, and they've already basically won the fights. Pop flash out of heaven, trying to come out of the vent. Ball finds one. Connor's got the other. Even now stuck in a 1v2. He finds the first. It's Bobby Bryant. He's going to run, try and pick up this AK. Got a little bit of bullets left. That Molly backside's going to cause problems. Will he? 7-5 half for Platypus.
Really good play for House Platypus right now. That was a good play. I mean, unfortunately, Tori does get the opening kill. That's what you want to see. But missing that second shot, you're ready for the angle to come out. You're holding on the top silo, but you can't get the frag. That's a little bit ridiculous. A bit of a blunder, and that allows Ball to get that double kill outside. A good reposition in the 3v3 though for House Platypus. They have outside control. You kill two people outside, so you group up together in the ramp. I believe it was Ball waiting in the lobby, put together. But this time it's going to be a fast play. Again, we talked about it before. The util is bad. The guns are bad. So this time they're going to group up together, try to be that swarm of wasps. But peeking out already. Alpha, first frag, good for the op, but should be a bit of a cleanup. It looks like a desperate chase at this point. They should know pretty much everyone's here. A good setup to hold. I'll be very surprised if Onslaught get more than one or two kills. Alpha to hold, double set up in the lobby, and the spray down again.
Baby!
So desperate spray. Oh! It's just a bit of a disaster right now. Nothing you're doing is working. They get the opening kill and they still lose it. Their opera's missing shots. They're losing control everywhere. And that was, unfortunately, possibly one of the most desperate things I've ever seen in this level of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I mean, this one's kind of got all the suspense of a bug hurtling its way toward a win shot. On the CT side of Nuke, probably the most CT-sided map in the pool. Definitely not a good sign of things to come for them. However, we've seen worse comebacks. If you'll recall, NRG versus Big for the major qualifiers, anything's possible, right? I am definitely a big believer in being able to win 12 rounds in a row. Is it likely? Not exactly, but we'll see how that goes. Minute 29 left to go, and it looks like House Platypus, uncharacteristically, are slowing things down. They're waiting for Onslaught to get nervous, and unfortunately, that was not what Connor wanted to happen. Tori drops him without a second thought. 5v4 now. As the round continues to develop, House Platypus not really able to get much.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good play from there from Tori to go aggressive. Not a lot of outside pressure, so he goes and takes that fight himself, gets the opening pick, but this time it's going to be the ramp side. To be test once again. They know the op's not here, so that's going to be a chessboard. And Alpha brings op of his own, drops Adam. Right, the double saw, the double ramp setup works yet again. Doubles up, keeps the man advantage in their favor, and frag is not going to come out. Still though, man advantage here for Onslaught. 3 versus 2, can they convert this one?
They're going to have to try. Tori's already made his way downstairs. Instead, they're going to push into hell. Finds one, not two. Blaine now stuck at half HP in a 1 versus 2. And he's got to try and make his way past this op, this smoke. Gonna be an issue. Tori's just going to watch the other side of it. And it should be a... Oh, my goodness. How in the world did he miss that? I could have swore that was going to hit. He nades double. Taps the plant. Does not commit. 19 seconds now. Oh, he's making his way up to control. Can he get it? He does. Tori, that's a great shot. And that will give Onslaught their second round a much-needed boost of adrenaline, and they're going to need to carry that into the next 2.
Yes, that's what you're gonna want to. That is what you're gonna want to see from Onslaught. You want your opera to start taking some of these more of these fights. It is the best gun in the game, right? You have a 100% chance to kill the person. You hit him in the body, so they're gonna get that opening frag. Alpha does the same thing on his end, so you're gonna need Tori to pick up the slack here. Go for those plays. The quick rotation down to lower, great. He misses that first shot, but still the idea is there. But this time, an off versus off and the outside position. J2, you'd be finding Connor. as the sprays comes down. He actually doubles up Josh's ball as well, so the 2-man advantage, and he got Alpha down pretty low. Should be a good conversion, more aggression outside, and finally, Onslaught getting some stuff to go in their favor. Tori, hold this angle as well, and Bobby gonna hold. Tori can't be missing those. You can't be missing those, Tori. Get Alpha with the Glock. Instead, so that advantage is gone. Bobby now in the 1 versus 2.
Yep, he's got to try and capitalize off the position his team put him in, but Alphonius, he does not miss that time. 9-3 half, at the very least secured for House Platypus Esports Club. So after a very chaotic round in the yard, that is going to pretty much lock things up for this half. Look at the money, look at the kills, look at the rounds. Not exactly looking great. I mean, they've won a round and lost a round, and they're still on FAMASas with no util. So an uphill battle for Onslaught in this half, and most likely the next one as well. Tori already up, pushing outside. They're getting way more aggressive for this map control. And I'm already down into Africa. And they're going to walk right into it. Tori now has been spotted. They're going to try and push to take him. Blaine does not clear it accurately, and Tori finds one as well. So, with 2 kills, makes it 5v3. The all pushed up on an aggressive angle. Tori's lucky to be alive after that one, but he will remain alive. So, he's got to try and find something to do with all that magic, and they're pushing on ramp in the meantime. This is going to be disgusting when it does work out. Look at that. Back turned. And Alphonius never stood a chance. So, a minute 5 in the 2 versus 5. And Connor and Bobby Bryant have to try and make something out of this round. Expecting an AWP to be somewhere in lobby now. They continue to press. That secret roll, he's going to give it away. The flash will as well, but they find the first. Connor, quick on the headshot. Tori is down vent. He's going to be their first point of resistance down onto the B site. I'm not exactly sure if I like this play from Onslaught. You're up in the 2 versus 5. There's no reason you should be isolating 1v1s like this, but with 35 seconds and on the freeze, House Platypus is eliminating the possibility of a B site play. Unless they go down vent at the last second, which could be on the table. 24 seconds now. Stoby, here's them entering. Finds the first with it from us. Now he's going to try and swing out. Find the second as well. Stoby with a double kill is going to give Onslaught 3, and that will take us into the second half.
Yeah, great showing here from Alphonius. Bobby Bryant doing a good job as well. 9-3. A little bit of recovery from Onslaught to do something into the round, but we're going to have to see how it works out here. Can they, Onslaught, pick up some momentum? We saw on their C side, that's this out on the end of their CT side, rather. That's something that we're going to see a lot more initiative taking, and that is what really got them through those rounds. Being willing to take some of the outside control, being willing to go for the plays to push that advantage, right? Even though you're upper player, you peek out anyway just to get the information, so then you could reposition the rest of your pieces. It's like when you sacrifice a piece in chess so you can move the rest of them around. And it ends up working out for them. So if they decide there that it works out, but here on the pistol rounds, we have some early util. Again, that Squeaky Nade's going to go out, but this time it's going to be toward that ramp push. One player to hold, good information, willing to fall back, and that's exactly what all they do is they push that player down, move some of these seats players around, and now they could reposition to what their actual play is going to be, upper hit to come into fruition. Or perhaps a vent drop.
Uh-oh! Oh my God, Evan! My goodness, what a flick on a Connor! Ball's gonna trade him out 4v4. And now they freeze in lobby, waiting for more CT overextension. It is not coming. Blaine tries to find the initial shots, can't get there. Junior's gonna find one as well. So with kills from him and Stoby, that is gonna make it a 2v4, trying to get anything to exit this round with Adam not taking prisoners, and neither is Tori, shooting the body to boot. 9-4, your new score.
Yeah, so I really, again, I like that play there. What they do, they nade the squeaky door. It's pretty common pistol strat because the util is usually pretty bad on the CT side. You nade the squeaky door, you smoke out mini, and then you flash in and go for it. The one player actually goes in and dies first on the Onslaught side. It goes in and effectively baits the players, but then they pause in lobby, waiting for maybe the ramp guy to get antsy to start to push early, for the A players maybe to think, oh, it's a fake, they might go lower, and that's what they do. They wait, they let House Platypus kind of sit on it, and then they go push upper again when they're not ready, win out the 2 frags, and therefore the round. Pistol doesn't speak too much here.
Uh-oh.
Right now, comes down, and USPS is not made too much. So 9-5, pretty good start. And again, when we talked, you said it yourself earlier, for the Onslaught side, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see some aggression, and if we're going to see these pistol and conversions, so now there actually might be a chance into this game, rather.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of the same thing we talked about when they were on the CT side, right? Taking those long angles with those pistols, it's just not ideal, right? When you're already in the disadvantage because of the eco round, you don't want to make it worse by making these super long angles with weapons that are just not kind of built for that fighting. And you see that again happen there. I'm definitely more partial to a lobby crunch. I mean, if you've studied film, right, on the other team, that's one thing, but I don't think anybody's doing that for a tournament like this. So, oh man, the spam just falls short. He's going to dive through it the last second, minute and a half, and he's already down. Secret Connor, ready and waiting, finds the kill, falls back. Textbook play from Connor instead. Now he reaggresses. Evan makes him pay for it. And so now he finds another with a Galil. Bobby Bryant answers back elsewhere. 3v3 now as the B site take starts. Now he's going to toss it, smoke onto this Molly. Control windows break. Minute 9 seconds left to go. Bobby Bryant, the only thing standing between them and a bomb plant. He could do it in the smoke. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to hear the plant, and Bobby Bryant can't put 2 and 2 together. It'll go down without contest, and now Snoopy's coming with a Galil. It's Alphonius. 2 versus 3 now. Make it 1 versus 3. Adam RX finds Blaine elsewhere. Bobby Bryant out from control. Temporarily blind, but it doesn't stick. Now, swings out, trying to find a man control. Doesn't realize there's 2. Paranoid single. Rightfully so. There is a man there. And with 20 seconds on the bomb, he's got to try and take this as slow as he can. Taps it. Looks for the squeaky player. Can he find it? Yes, he does. Now the door's open. He's got to find them both. One's going control. Is he going to be ready? USP finds the dink, not the kill. Even is there. Makes him pay. And that is going to be a 9-6 score line. But just by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, that was almost a good play there from House Platypus. You have the player on lower, he gets the first pick, but then he thinks he's getting chased down, so he reaggresses because he isn't sure. He thinks he's getting chased with that smoke. But then at that point, your vent rotation didn't have any time to actually react, didn't have anyone to play off of. So he, in an awkward position, vent is not an easy position. If you're already down there, you kind of have to fight for that space. So he does just that, dies for no purpose. Similarly, the last player on ramp on the B site trying to hold, throws a molly, gets smoked out. He gets pressured from the control position. Not going to work out. So again, we'll see it here. A bit this time, a bit of an upper stack, not much to work with. A single MP9 here on Bobby Bryant, gonna try to make some magic happen. Alphonius still himself having a pretty good game. Again, 17 and 9, really holding this team on his back. That's player highlighted before, but I also want to give some credit to Bobby. In the last best of 3, also performed pretty well next to Alpha, so it's someone we're gonna have to look out for as well. Alpha though, again, 5 second and does some damage, does some deagles as well, so this could be an interesting round.
Yeah, gets away with it too, like a freaking champion. My God, just out of the smoke like a freaking ghost. Minute 3 now. Bobby Bryant's just gonna miss the player, get into hell, and that is gonna compromise the ramp hold. Not that it was really there to begin with. And so now they're gonna be able to just go down ramp and to be completely undetected. The bomb does not make it through. Now he hears the tap on the reload, finds the first with the headshot, can't get the second. Even picks him up through the wall with the headshot. Bomb on his back. This has been seen. And I think this has been heard as well. 37 seconds. They got to kind of make up their mind here, right? House Platypus now heading down towards the B site. If they want this to be the correct read, they're going to have to get moving. More time passing by. The hourglass continues to drain sand as the bomb now makes its way onto the site. Paranoid of a lurk, and rightly so. They will not find it in this area of the map, though. Even gets the bomb down on default. And so with 35 seconds left, we'll see how this round shakes out. Not exactly in the advantage in terms of weapons, but in a 3v4, it is definitely not impossible. A little bit of pixie dust and a little bit of timings, and that is all you really need. Swings out, finds it, does Connor. Adam takes 1, but it may not be enough. Now Even's got 1, can't get the transfer. Alphonius is there. 1v2 for Junior. He's got to stop that bomb defusal. Finds the first. Can he get on it? 10 seconds. He's got to get moving. 7 now. He's got to stick it. He's not going to have the time. And Junior takes his life. Onslaught reduced the gap to 2, and they look back in this game.
Yeah, really, really great position from them. I mean, House Platypus doing a good job to try to get some plays on their side, getting a lot of good, honestly, free kills. The first towards Heaven, the first towards Mini, the second towards Heaven, being able to convert that. And Onslaught, though, still recovering. Junior getting that first kill on the ramp player, or on the 1 versus 2 there, was basically the winning round. If he doesn't get that kill there, it's going to be really hard to get that free peek. It wasn't really planted for him in that Shroud's position. It gets tricky, but here, you can see something a little bit trickier. Alphonius with an off of his own and on the long angle. Not gonna hit it this time. Still though, outside control now in position, and the contest begins here if they're outside. Minute 30 on the clock, and the nade is gonna allow. going to actually help on the cross, so they could begin crossing now. 3 players helping out.
Uh-oh.
1 towards ramp, 1 towards heaven, 1 towards mini. That's Adam and the RS all on the A side, and now the execution.
Yeah, even finding one as well. Alphonius, his superstar status can't save him this time. Bobby Bryant answers back, but it's going to be a 2v3. Trying to hold the site. Junior is there. Now swinging out even more aggressive. Bobby Bryant punishes that, but it taxes him a lot of HP. He might just try and save the op out of this. And the bomb goes down to B. So I don't think he expects it here. Even if he finds this kill, he's going to waste time looking around on A. Unless he's heard something. He's paranoid ramp for some reason. And so with 33 seconds, he's going to keep looking down, and I think he is just going to try and save this. So House Platypus forfeit round 17, and that is going to put Onslaught up to 8. And man, we thought they were down and out of this game, and lo and behold, they win 5 in a row before our very eyes to reduce the gap to 1.
That's one of the tricky things when you have like just 1 or 2 players really popping off. It's that they can't be everywhere at once, right? So in this position, they play the outside. Onslaught really plays on the outside, but then that nade that they use to cross, or that nade they use to blow the smoke, doesn't actually give Alphonius any vision outside, so that forces the Heaven player to try to peek, get some information, but then they also have a Garage player. They had effectively 4 players helping out outside and only 1 player toward the A site. So when Onslaught actually gets the 1 opening kill towards A, the entire site collapses. They have no more control. They use a lot of the utility to take outside, so they can't go for the quick retake, and with that position, it just gets so tricky to actually get that retake going. So a really good play there from Onslaught, a good read on their outside stack House Platypus had going on there. But this time it's going to be the other way around. Onslaught's going to be the one stacking out to the side, and well, we're going to see how this round plays out.
Yep, and now Ball smokes deep squeaky, and the lack of an outside hold is going to allow this round to develop pretty interestingly. Walking these smokes is Tori and Stoby. Starting to get a little bit more confident in this game. Because they really start to come out of their shells in terms of confidence taking fights. Blaine back turn, and that's going to cost him. Was not expecting them to be Garage. Now they pour out. Tori finds the kill, and that is going to open up the round. 5v4 now as they try to make their way up to Heaven. Tori's going to be a thorn in House Platypus side. Alphonius, meanwhile, has made his way down into Secret. Can't find the quick scope. And Junior's got him elsewhere. So Adam and Junior both finding kills, making a quick 2v5. And it is left to Connor and Bobby Bryant to try and pick up the pieces. Finds the first. Bobby Bryant now with him. They hear the bomb go down on A. So some of the T's not necessarily in position for this, but that molly from Adam is quite clutch. And so they're going to back out of lobby, not even go for this, instead elect for the game to be tied. So 6 in a row now for Onslaught as they continue to enforce their will on the T side. Very atypical for a nuke game. A lot of the time you see the CT side really powerful on this map, but it seems that narrative has been reversed today.
Yeah, a little bit. I wonder what happened there. There's actually a bit of overcorrection, I think, from House Platypus. This time they played basically no one outside. They sent Alpha down lower to start with the op, which is a pretty strong position. They expected maybe someone to go down because of these smokes, but that's the cool thing about the outside smokes. Right? There's so many different ways to throw them. Maybe you're going to cross into lower. This time, we saw in the pistols before, they actually crossed into mini. This time, they're actually going into garage. And I think the gap in communication. Oh, Alpha going to have to get a restart there. But I wonder if there's a bit of a gap in communication there. Why? I believe it was it Blaine or Ball playing towards Heaven, like peeking out and just dying for free if you're not ready at all for the garage player to be there, even though you know you're not playing a player outside, even though you know the cross smokes are available. That's a bit of a blunder and an early pick to go out. So that forces someone like Alpha to push up because you think maybe someone's not there in the secret position. So he swings out with the op and just gets killed for free. There's not much you could do there. Swinging up with the op there is really tough in that late round, especially if someone's going to be holding you. So at that point, the round is already done and over with. So your op never really in position to make any plays there. So I think a lot of this is actually coming down to right now mistakes coming out from this House Platypus side as opposed to better play in general. So it does worry me a little bit, some of these blunders. Hopefully we can maybe see a bit of a recovery like we saw from Onslaught in the latter half of this half. But right now, tied up 9-9. I mean, candidly, I didn't think we were going to get here, but still a good showing. And I think Onslaught are doing a good job to play the cards they have and to not make mistakes or not make as many mistakes as House Platypus have been.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you said, right, earlier. Bobby Bryant and Alphonius cannot be everywhere at once, right? When you have two players having a great game like that, I mean, 20 and 13, 19 and 10, nothing to scoff at. It kind of becomes a point of just on the T side, just tracking those guys down and just straight up avoiding them, right? Those are guys you cannot fight when they're in that state, and you got to steer clear of them, and that's exactly what Onslaught have done. They've done a great job of it. Alphonius has yet to reconnect. 20 seconds left in the technical pause, so unless he is able to reconnect, I believe the round will start without him. Not exactly familiar with the rulings on that. I know it's different from tournament to tournament, but with that being said, this game has just gotten very, very interesting. It turns out that Nuke is not going to be as one-sided as we thought. So tech pause now kicks back in, so the round will not start without Alphonius present, at least for the time being. And we'll see what happens. We may send you to a quick break here in a few seconds, waiting on the word for production if that is good to go. In the meantime, right, it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, that outside control is so important on a map like this, and the way that the teams have been trading so many bodies and so much utility to get it and then kind of freeze, right? Let that kind of that artificial pressure really sink into that CT side. I think that's where both teams have been really, really successful today, and that's something to keep an eye on as this game goes on, how House Platypus counter that outside play and what they do to prevent the artificial pressure from dictating their decisions late round.
Yeah, on a map like Nuke, outside is your mid control, right? It holds a lot of rotations. It has a lot of information. It makes it really tricky for a lot of your other players to wonder what's happening on the other side of the map. I mean, suddenly your ramp player has to worry, your heaven player has to worry, your mini player has to worry. It gets a lot of pressure off of the actual sites themselves. They have additional options, so T's getting control of that early on is always going to be beneficial. But something I talked about earlier before this game began is going to be the outside control and how it factors in, how the T's are actually supposed to fight for it. I think something that's been really, really interesting. I know it's a little bit, we're deep into the game, but CS2 has been a lot more interesting for Nuke than I think rather CSGO was. You don't get to cross for free, but you have to use these smokes. Not only are T's forced to use their smokes outside, so they have not as much utility, because you need to throw those smokes even if you're not going for it, but then for free, for basically no real impact, the CTs have grenades, and they can just blow up those smokes at any time. So you need to throw the smokes and get lucky, effectively. That on top of dodging spam, on top of looking for glaive pushes or Africa pushes, that's something you want to see. And when we talk about the House Platypus side of things, that's something that we haven't been seeing as much. You've been seeing the util throne, the counter util throne, but you haven't been seeing a lot of aggressive plays. I mean, we saw the latter half Onslaught, someone like Tori getting really aggressive with the op, being able to pick off that first box player, getting those early frags like that. That's not something we really seen from House Platypus yet. I mean, all people sliding into the African position, into red, to get direct control of outside, even though that player gets really far away from the rotations, what it means is you get way more information for it. And I think that's going to be something that they're going to want to do here, especially considering they don't have an op into this round. I won't be surprised here if they go for these aggressive plays. Alphonius reconnected, and it looks like the round's going to actually come to fruition. But again, won't be surprised here if House Platypus goes for aggressive outside plays. They really should, or at least maybe an aggressive ramp play or aggressive somewhere. At this point, they're playing too far back, and we're going to want to see them actually make some plays themselves, take some initiative into the round, and that's how you win and map together a successful CT side.
Yeah, you gotta play to win, not play to not lose. And unfortunately, House Platypus at the moment is playing it to not lose. Now they open the door fast. Junior and Adam both finding kills. Connor tries to pick him apart and does so successfully from the mini position. A quick double kill to make it a 3v3, but Adam heavily taxed as well. Connor will go down for his efforts. And now they pour out onto the site. They're going to try and dodge, but they will not dodge Bobby Bryant's spray. Adam goes down, makes it a 2v2. Stoby is in position to stop this B-site commitment. And I think that is going to be that. Bomb will go down, so the Molotov on left side will prevent any kind of rotation. It will go down. And now this is the best chance that House Platypus have had so far in this second half to win a round. They cannot afford to save here. They cannot afford to waste this golden opportunity, but they're wasting so much time. 25 seconds on the bomb. They have to get moving. Stoby watching the left side. Tori watching the right side. Who will break first? The answer is Tori. Alpha finds him, clears dark.
Molly.
Now he just has to get to the blue box. He's got the molly. Can he get it on the bomb? Finds the first. Will he get there? No, he will not. Alphonius is there. Will he stick it in time? And it looks like he will. And look at that, House Platypus As soon as they lost the lead, they regain it right at the right time. They go on to double digits.
Really scrappy start there. Just walking out hut dry. That is not something you see too often. Usually it just means you die immediately. Especially because there was someone holding the hut. But actually swinging out early on for Onslaught. Getting the opening frag, but can't quite close out the round. They have two players. Holding on that position on the ramp side. Yeah, one player holding close, but the trade isn't really available there. So it's a little bit tricky to see. Still gonna go for the one, hiding in the corner on the 1v2. Not gonna get anything for it this time ago. Played for Bobby Bryant with the spray. Finds Junior in the smoke. And that's how we're gonna start round.
Golly. Oh, Alphonius taking no prisoners. Already dropping Adam. Waiting for anyone to reveal an inkling of presence, and now as the smokes fade, Tori is there, makes the play, does a little mini run boost as well, so now it's ball to hold the B site from the secret push. He has it narrowed down. He knows where they're coming from. He's going to open up single. As a result, that's going to tell the T's where he's at, so now he's going to hop up into rafters. The door closed, now it opens. Bobby Bryant is there, going to try and make the play. Finds the first, it's even. And now the trade doesn't come fast enough. Sees him cross, trying to find it, he does. Bobby Bryant, patient as ever, finds the tap, and Tori is now left all alone in the 1v4. Pushing from control, he sees the gun. He's got to try and get into position. Just waiting for a little bit of aggression, a little bit of overextension. Trying to get anything here, but everyone is playing so beautifully. Not exposing themselves unnecessarily to the angle. Now Bobby Bryant knows, and he will not matter. Tori takes him down, but ball is quick to trade. And that is going to end that round in favor of House Platypus. They seem to have cleaned things up on their CT side. Winning 2 in a row now. The question is, can they get 2 more?
Yeah, doing a good job picking up the pieces here again, and honestly, that was a much better play from House Platypus. A lot more, not necessarily aggressive, but a lot more team-oriented, and they're playing around the information they actually have. So bringing out second player, one player drops, jump spotting, immediately drops a smoke to single, rotates around to play the heaven side to watch double, and you already have a player down lower to watch single for you too. You're just not quite ready for how quick those rotations were, and that's going to cost them. Because Onslaught this time, just with pistols, so despite their clawing back, bring it all the way to 9-9, they can't quite get over the line, can't quite find the advantage. And this realistically is going to be a 12-9 half unless some miracles can come to fruition, unless Adam, Tori, unless these players can pull something out of their rear, and Bobby Bryant isn't going to give them the opportunity to do so, at least not early on.
Uh-oh! Do you believe in miracles? Because I sure do. Junior does this well, finds him with a Tech 9, and now the control windows have been busted. The site commitment is there. Man, advantage in their hands. They're taking a while to plant the bomb. That could bite them if someone swings from double, but it's not likely. Minute 8 seconds left to go as the round continues to develop. House Platypus getting in position for the retake. They know they have the gun advantage, but they cannot underestimate these pistols. They are dangerous in numbers like a swarm of bees. 1,000 stingers a minute. 29 seconds on the bomb. They flash in. Does not matter. They get torn apart, shredded to bits as the retake continues to play out. And now it's all on Connor. Can he get it? He will not. Look at that! What a great play from Onslaught. Did not have a chance in the round, and they took it anyway. Never tell them the odds. They go on to double digits, and the gap is down to 1.
Yeah, keeping it close, and that was a really good round from them. Finding Bobby, he's actually weird. I don't know why when he rotates down, he actually rotates on the left side, which is a much easier kill. It's way easier to get killed there, so I'm not sure why he's rotating like that. And that's going to give him the rifle, gives them lower control, and by then, Onslaught just doing such a good job to get position, playing their numbers correctly. But we're going to see an outside aggressive play. This is what I wanted to see earlier. Lots of flashbangs. 3 players from both sides come out here to hold, and it's going to be a dry skirmish. Everyone just behind these smokes. It's the only thing going together. 4 players right here, but Connor close. Drops Evan. The right side is going to fall as well before we get the refrag. And still, it all comes down to the 1 versus 3 now. 1 player remains, and suddenly outside control taken. This is what I said earlier from House Platypus. They need to go for these aggressive plays, and it works out just in their favor.
Pandemonium as the kills rain down. And now dinked through the wall is Junior. So now he's got to clutch a 1v3 on 18 health. And of a couple of magazines. He does have a full belt, that helps, and a minute to play with. He now knows exactly where the bomb is at and how much they're willing to defend it. You wonder if this just becomes an extended save, but do they even want to consider the possibility of overtime after having come this far? Now he is going to hurry up, sees one on red. He has the molly and the nade. He could kill one without even seeing him here. He just has to make the right guess. There's a lot of factors that go into being a good Counter-Strike player. And one of the most overlooked ones is luck, and Junior's luck runs out. House Platypus now on match point.
Good job from them to play that outside aggression. That's something we talked about before. Just you need to play to get that outside control, and this time it works out. That's the first time we've seen more than one player outside for both teams. It's a great job, a good hold, and lots of aggressive, lots of playing off each other. Have the bomb down. They do well to get the information and then survive off the back of it in the 1 versus 3 there. So good hold from them, and lots of Etho to play with. A lot of aggressive Etho from both these teams come out early. Once again, fighting control, this time being pretty careful, but it's match point for House Platypus. What can they do to close this out? And does Onslaught have a final breath into this?
We'll have to see. 12-10. You got to grip it and rip it, son. You got to rack them and stack them. Minute 26 in this round. And you can see it, man. Everybody is just playing this as slow and as tactically as they can. Nobody wants to be the first to die, but everybody wants to be the first to get a kill to open it up for their team. Flash for the peak onto outside. Nothing doing. Alphonius finds Junior elsewhere. That opens up the round in favor of House Platypus, but we've seen Onslaught bring back a bigger deficit before. Corey's going to make it up into heaven with no resistance. Could catch someone on a off guard if they're not careful. Connor down on the B site watching this secret play. Won't have any impact in this round, at least not yet. Tori, does he look down? We'll have to see. A site completely undefended. Bomb on the back, even if he can get a free bomb plant here.
Oh my God!
Up the ladder! That is disgusting! And he's going to completely take the round out of Onslaught's hands. There's nothing they can do. Blaine and ball clean up. It's going to be 13-10. House Platypus Esports Club make a statement here in this best of 3.
A good showing from them. A little bit of struggle later in that or rather the start of their second half there, but Bob Bryant, Alphonius, their numbers at the end of the day, Counter-Strike's a game about killing, and they simply did more of that. That gave House Platypus the edge of it. And Onslaught had a lot of good showings. They recovered a little bit later there, but couldn't quite get it together. House Platypus doing a good job to close it out, despite some struggles from some other players on their team. So a lot closer of a game than I would have predicted, but good job regardless.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say about it. That was a very good game. Privileged to watch, and both teams really leaving it all out on the server tonight. So with that being said, we're going to be right back here in just a few moments. Ancient is not too far away. We will go from peaceful Cedar Creek down into the jungle. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in this best of 3.
We are in the zone, the bass is pounding, shaking far, hands in the air, we are feeling flow, this beat is dropping, takes control. Back to back, we are in the zone, the bass is pounding, shaking far, hands in the air, we are feeling flow, this beat is dropping, takes control. nowadays. It's the ways of the underground. Bases pounding, shaking floor. We are in the zone that we are in the zone that bases pounding, shaking floor. Hands in the air, we're feeling for this beats is dropping, takes control. Bases pounding, shaking floor. We are in the zone that
Vem me dar vapo, me leva pro teu barraco, me faz de bola de sinuca e me taco, taco, taco. Vem me dar
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SOFLO SLAM 2, and this game is for third place between Onslaught and House Platypus Esports Club. Map 2 brings us down to Ancient. We witnessed a very entertaining game on Nuke, and now we are hoping the favor gets returned on this map. Ancient, very, very interesting map. A lot of people call it a reskin Mirage technique. Why do you think that is?
Well, right now it's actually something we're seeing a lot out of the map pool. Ancient's just one of those maps that plays really, really simply. It's another kind of 3-lane build, like your Dust 2s, like your Mirages, sort of like your Infernos, right? Like your Caches, actually, that just come in. You have your mid, you have your A, you have your B, and you're playing, typically speaking, 2-1-2. You have your donut position, though. That's going to be pretty interesting, so we'll see how it plays. It's a lot more puggy. It's going to be a lot more scrappy, and actually, this map and Mirage that follow, both going to be scrappy maps, so I guess it's going to come down to who's the better duelers in some simple ways.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. Looks like contact mid here to start us off. I don't hate this play. A lot of times teams will util dump that elbow area, and it just kind of becomes really just a place if you want to lose HP, you just kind of stand there. So I don't hate this, especially waiting for some kind of overextension on House Platypus' side. Now they swing out, so Blaine going to take the initial fight and back off. Minute 20 as they pour into Donut. A players looking like they want to. Ball finding one. It's Tori. Now from Big Box. They kind of stall out in Donut. Looks like they want to back off here.
Yeah, they pulled off good rotations, and that's exactly what they wanted to do. They pull the players over. They realized they actually stacked 2 towards A. No one in Donut into this round. So they're going to try to take control of that A position, but Connor already rotated play. So now the B execution is going to come to fruition.
Yeah, Blaine not ready for Stilby in Red Room either. So House Platypus still on the back foot despite not having the man advantage, and Connor tears them apart, and Alpha finishes the job. What a great play from Connor right there. 3 kills in the round, and that'll give House Platypus the advantage here early.
That's something you're going to want to see. Connor actually had a hard, yes, he's had a hard game last game, but candidly, throughout this entire tournament, he's been really struggling. So something like that could be a little bit of ego boost that he needs. Good pistol rounds to start it out. A good idea from Onslaught, but not quite going to work out. Instant elbow smoke come out as well. So should be a pretty quick clean up into this one. It looks like you have 1 deagle onto Junior, but everything else just blocks. Going to be stack over towards A, and actually no early A presence. They're going to be playing just one toward the donut. So this isn't terribly uncommon, but in this round, there actually could be something to be said for it. The rotation would be pretty far here if ball were to overextend the ball. Going to get the first, going to get the second, but as he falls, no smoke available to take position, but a bomb plant might be on the cards here. So candidly, if you're House Platypus, that's, or rather, if you're Onslaught, that's all you can really ask for. But a quick retake should be under fruition unless Adam has something to say.
Yeah, playing with the MP7 as well, trying to tear it up here early. Rifle goes down, and now it's just the pistols, but it might be enough. Stovey takes him 2v3 now as they pour out onto the site. Hiding in the smoke is Even. Can he get there? The flank donut not going anybody's way. Now Even takes him down, and now it's going to be Bobby Bryant to trade. They're trying to find the bomb. They get the smoke on it. Is it going to be enough? He doesn't quite see him. Connor takes him as he swings, and whew, just barely House Platypus avoid disaster, taking their second round.
Yeah, a little bit scary there. And again, the M4 player, as a Blaine playing the solo A side, again, just overextending. He's alone on that side, not a lot of util. He's in donut by himself, had plenty of opportunity to back up, let the mid player come in rotation, but the mid player in that position had an MP7. So even though he rotates all the way around to take that long angle on the CT angle, can't really get much done with it. Has to contest against Deagles against, at that point, the M4. So a bit sloppy there from House Platypus, but able to recover it. But that's going to cost them quite dearly for a round that should have been free.
Yes, it does. Adam's nade misses, unfortunately. Opening mid-util exchange. They got two stacked up in A main here. This definitely makes them a little bit more paranoid of the A site for sure, knowing that Onslaught are favoring it this heavily. And so now, the spray from Redwood Room. Is anybody going to get a kill out of that? Probably not. So with mid-control established for the T's now, and the bomb looks like it's leaning ramp, going on to the unstacked site.
Yeah, well, it works out sort of in their favor. They have one player grouped up, or rather one player, albeit it's alpha, pushed up all the way into A main, so lots of information. That's going to allow a quick rotation, or I guess it should, but they're not going to do that just yet. Coming to Christian, Connor to get first.
Now he's got it. Adam trades him out, so now 4v4 as they continue to push the smoke. Can he get it? Connor's got a second with the MP9. Not going down without a fight. And now Stovey takes him down, but it costs him his own life. Blaine there through the smoke, 3v2 as the bomb plant starts to go down. Re-smoking long, short smoke due to fade any moment now. 35 seconds. Alphonius making his way through cave. He's going to be the problem. If they root him out, they've got both these guys isolated towards the long side. That smoke going to last a little bit longer. 25 seconds on the bomb, burning a lot of time waiting for some kind of overextension. Even finds ball, pushing. Now Blaine has to get out of position. Won't find anything with a spam. It's going to be so close. Down to the wire. 14 seconds. Alphonius takes down Tori, and Blaine does find Even. They are going to get there just barely. And Platypus Esports Club are going to have their third round after giving me a heart attack.
Yeah, that was actually, Onslaught had a really big, they were given a lot of opportunities to win that round, so I'm surprised they didn't. I mean, at the end of it, Alpha, all of the nades he has right now are the same ones he had in the previous round. He didn't use any use, so I thought what happens that he was going to queue up his teammates, they group up in the CT, he flashes in, gets the retake going, but instead that's not going to happen. He holds back and allows plenty of time for that T player to rotate, get the up the short side, find one player on the long side, back on out. Fortunately, it works out, and they end up playing, overextending their hand a little bit, falling, not playing the bomb correctly, so not going to go in their favor despite giving the opportunity to do so. House Platypus going to keep up their lead 3-0, and this time it's Connor leading the scoreboard 6-0 or 6-1 himself. So a good start from him, and that's someone that needs to be picking up because you know Alphonius, you know Bobby are going to pick up their slack later in the game, or not slack, but really pick up the numbers later in the game. So having other players that could kind of start us off, warm up early into the game, that is what you need on the House Platypus side.
Yeah, we'll see what Onslaught wants to do. Already going down 3, they take their first time out. Right? I definitely agree with this, and you see this a lot, just at every level of Counter-Strike, is teams not using their timeouts, right? You have them, you don't get anything by saving them, right? You can't take them into the next game. You might as well use them, even if you are winning by a ton, right? Make the other team stew in it, or in this case, talk things out before the round to see what you want to do. And with an instant ruins and elbow smoke, House Platypus look on top of the world, at least with their utility usage.
They're not playing 2 towards mid. I guess they just don't feel the pressure. More willing to play 2 towards A. I'm not sure if that's maybe just a feeling off of this round, but early on, getting someone deep into the A main position, this is actually really good info from the CT. So instead of playing for mid, they have deep A main control, and then, usually you want to see them do something with that. You have all the information there for your A player, but I guess they're just going to use that as a way to get quick info and then maybe get a rotation, get in, get one, get out. But so far, good job from House Platypus to hold what they have. But it's Onslaught who's traded all of their util, only one smoke remaining to get that house control. So the real question is what they're going to do for the rest of the round. Again, one smoke, 2 flashes, and you don't have control of banana even. You have your red room control, but you have to fight for donut. You have mid, but fight for Jaguar, and this is what you see. A lot of dry peaks, and well, Connor going to be spotting out Junior early on.
Uh-oh, not expecting 2 to be there. So that is going to confirm 2 on B, and walking up, A main, ball's got 1, can't find the second. Now they have to commit to A. The problem is the player in red room, he's going to cut off the rotate. It will not matter. Blade finds him. Alphonia stops the sight play, can't get the second. Tori is there, but now it's a 1v3. So he'd need a miracle to get this one. Finds one in CT. He does. Blade goes down through the smoke, tosses the second, and Donut, not realizing both opponents are in CT. Starts the plant, and now they're going to try and spam it. Do they get him down? He dodges every single bullet. Oh my goodness. Like Neo in the Matrix. And now he's going to hide Temple. He's going to commit to this as well. This is exactly what his plan was from the start. He planted it for it, and now they're going to be too confused. They're not going to know what's happening. The problem is he's sticking the defuse. If he peeks too late, he won't have it. Tori, that is an incredible play to give Onslaught their first round. What a magnificent play from him. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, really good to get position out of there. I'm surprised that Tori wasn't or that they weren't holding for that long position. It wasn't planted for the Temple side, so the fact they're not watching that at all is a little bit concerning. You saw the player facing that CT side, so you should have been ready for it. I said earlier on, they didn't have the util to clear it, so that's actually allowed, I believe it was Alphonius, to rotate into sight to get free optics. Just have util to flash off, but still, it worked out. House Platypus making those big mistakes there, not really watching it. That's a simple one. You can't really be making those, so that's going to cost them. And in this round, it's going to be full pistols. They have a 5.7, I believe, on the corner, but USPS is across the board. Otherwise, a kit in hand, some flashes. Looks like they're going to go for some aggressive mid play. They're playing the smoke. Flashbangs, here it is to come on out. And let's don't get anyone. Instead, he's doing a good job playing play back.
Ooh, hang on.
Out, but yeah, shouldn't be much to say here. Connor, good start, 5.7 in hands. He also has head armor behind it, so there's an opportunity for him, but it would be quite the long shot, especially since no one is on his side of the map. Granted, still could have the opportunity here technically if you make some initiative to go for some 1v1s, get a rifle, have a chance in the round, but not going to work out this time. So good idea there for House Platypus to go for that aggressive play on the flashes, but doesn't quite actually flash deep enough into the elbow. And no, that's actually going to be a frag and might be able to get the AK, maybe get a second here. Or even better, save it, because the money is a little bit shaky on the House Platypus side.
Yeah, it's not looking super likely. Tori has his number. He is just waiting to try and get an A main. The problem is he going to be looking in the right way? He will not. Connor finds another. Tori's going to try and take this AK away. He knows how valuable that economic implication is at this point. That Molly could do it. He's already low. He's forced to swing. And Tori, with a big brain play, costs House Platypus an AK. So that eco round does a ton of damage, but they're not able to get anything for it. I think it also proves how much staying alive is valuable. A lot of people don't really understand that because they won 3 rounds in a row, lost 1, and then they were on pistols. Just goes to show you how much you need to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, again, really good on the eco there. I'm surprised he got away with as much damage as they did.
They're
but
pushing.
It's not gonna matter because they're going fast here. This one, Bobby Bryant to get the first. For Connor to get another, he's able to refrag and still runs to a 3v3, and now the actual take comes into fruition.
Here we go.
That's gonna die, and that leaves ball in the 1 versus 3.
Yes, it does. And now he's got to try and find it all from shelf. Clearing Jaguar, moving to clear cave. Now, I wonder if they expect him here this quick. Even looks like he's ready for it, but looking ready and being ready are 2 different things. Oh, they're setting up for him now. Dobie's going to be there to swing as soon as he even takes contact. That is exactly what he's going to do. Finds the first, will not find the second. Stobie was there. A great setup, a great play, and now we've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Early B pressure, and yeah, it's one of those first things that you see, that B rush coming in through. They're throwing all the default util, but they're just not ready for the level of pacing. A good adjustment to try to get the opening frags there onto that, onto the entries rather, but doesn't quite go their way. Instead, Onslaught to hold, get the position to win the round. 3-3 now, and again, House Platypus once more on to pistols.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide. Yeah, it looks like they're going to push A main here. 1 in red. to compensate for the lack of map control.
We'll be ready for this,
Not really super useful, yeah. And they are ready for it. That's very odd. They throw the molly to hold them off, and with a minute and a half, looks like they're just going to pivot and go B here.
Yeah, a large part of House Platypus's default is to go and play aggressive into the A main. So they're looking for it this time. They hear nothing towards mid, so they're happy to go on through and realize, hey, there probably is just someone pushing to the A main side. They've done this every single round. They hear the tick on the molly, and yeah, Bobby Bryant gonna fall. They walk into a free and open B bomb site. Couldn't be anyone else to say anything about this round.
Nope, they're going to expect a very dangerous retake here, or at least a very early one. But looks like the other members of House Platypus are just kind of playing for exits here. I really don't hate that idea. Tori snags a deagle while he can, or I think that was a deagle. Might not have been. We'll see. And looks like, oh, well, falling Junior. That's disgusting. Connor's going to trade him out. You can hear the chat messages, but you can't see it, but I can only assume what was said. And with the bomb about to detonate, looks like everybody's going to be able to get out alive.
So not as much damage maybe as House Platypus could have wanted, but they played that pretty well. I mean, they actually, for the most part, did a good read, but I think that molly tick is what sold them, unfortunately. They could have had some potential. Onslaught clearly wanted to go to the A side, started the round. They sacrificed mid control for it. They had one player toward that B side, only kind of solo clearing Jag, but instead, not going to wear out for them. They did stack the correct side, but nothing to show for it. Just staying alive, making sure they don't give too much money over to that CT side. But this time, I mean, look at the scoreboard here. It's pretty interesting. Connor leading 11-4. Alpha, Bobby not really leading so much so far. But early mid control this time for the PTs is going to lead to a free A site.
Woo! Yep, completely free. We're going to see a 5v5 retake here. House Platypus really can't afford to give up any more ground, especially at this point in the game. Onslaught have won 4 in a row. You've got to stop the bleeding. You got to somehow get this game back under control with spams to the smokes not leading to damage for either team. 37 seconds as the retake starts. Alphonius and Bobby Bryant moving into Temple. What awaits them is Tori and Adam, and now they both go down. Alphonius and Bobby Bryant both finding kills. Stoby answers back. Even's got one. Stoby taps him while blind.
Right.
2v3 now as they go into the smoke. He starts the defuse. Are they going to spam him down? They are! Junior with a double kill is going to give Onslaught 5. And that is a very beautiful round out of them. Looked dangerous for a second, but they reel it back in.
Yeah, really good round there for Onslaught. House Platypus trying to go for some mid aggression, but just the wrong read. This time it's Onslaught rushing toward the H site, playing that really, really fast. And by the time that anyone in House Platypus rotates over, the smoke's already down. They're able to refresh, and with no ops, no util, they just had so much util goes so early into the round. They didn't sacrifice any toward that mid position. So able to hold, no worries there. This time reading for the mid aggression once more. They got the right call that there are a lot of people in mid, but not playing so aggressive. Still plenty of util to clear this out. Shouldn't be an issue. Flash one through, lots of rifles wing, but a little bit dangerous though. These pistols speaking all at once. The smoke. Connor not waiting for it. And now the last player is as well. So unless Bobby hits some disgusting shots like that one,
My God.
it would be a clean round still though. Should be able to cover rifle. 1 versus 2 now.
1 versus 2, he might realize that there's nobody on the other end of that donut smoke, and I think that's exactly what he's done. He's going to hear the util out on A, and he's going to have a chance to slow him down even further. 1 minute, 6 seconds. Do they expect him here this fast? They're already expecting the CT push. Finds the first, not the second, and Tori, he is going to save them from a very embarrassing round should that not have gone their way. They now extend the gap to 3 and secure the tie half after a very bonkers eco round, kind of just leaving everyone to die in mid. And yeah, that's kind of just how that goes. A lot of times you can prepare for a lot of things, right? When it comes to really just any sport, but Counter-Strike in particular. But there's something that an old football coach of mine once said. He said, you can't prepare for a great individual play. You can't prepare for Bobby Bryant to do that kind of thing in the server. That's just completely unexpected, and really there's nothing you can do to stop it. So with the donut smokes in play, an A-site hit looks all but inevitable, but nobody seems fooled on the House Platypus side.
I like this. A lot of early aggression towards mid, and then they make tons of noise rotating back into mid, or back into donut. So then the A players freeze, thinking there's 3 players here. So then now, Onslaught have to pause themselves, but they're pausing actually just for a fake, and it's a really, really tricky one. A good one, because they sell 2 players, they can find 2 frags themselves, and with that free and open bomb site, the entire half the map is theirs. Not even mid is under control from House Platypus. And now to the 3v3, it should be a interesting retake. They have the retake for Donut. They have to retake for CT. So the CTs, what can they really do in this position other than, candidly, save?
Yeah, but saving at this point in the game is not really an option. At some point, you do have to turn and fight. You cannot just keep retreating, but with 20 seconds on the bomb, they've taken too long already. This retake has already been decided, and I think they realize this. They're just going to run back over to B. So with an expertly managed round, Onslaught bring their score up to 7. Not sure who the caller is on that team, but that was a genius move, sending those 2 guys into B with all that util. And man, what a round it was. So House Platypus once again on the back foot. Losing a lot of rounds to this T side, starting to play out a lot like Nuke did.
Yeah, that was actually, it ended up playing in their favor a lot more than you would have expected, because House Platypus, they even overplay themselves, because if they just rotated into the site like they wanted to, if they attempted to go for that A play, then they get the info that, hey, there is no one A right now, or we actually have a player in the A site ready to hold. But instead, they try to fake out some donut noise, and they rotate back to mid, so they never actually confirm what's happening on A. They don't have the information into A main, but this time we see a lot of mid util. Similarly, that we saw previously, 3 players over towards B. Quick adjustment, or rather rapid adjustment for the CT side. But still, Onslaught going to do the same that we saw before. Lots of players for this A side and 1 player in the donut to hold. This time, though, Alpha with the off. This is something that he didn't have in the previous round. Towards CT, ready. Does he have an HE? He does not. So if that smoke comes down in execution, he might not have all the impact he wants.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Ball's going to be the first man to take contact from. Donut finds the first, not the second even with the trade. Blaine's going to be burned out of Temple. They hear the ticks on the molly. They know exactly where he's at. Reinforcements are inbound, but it's not going to be enough. The double smokes are going to pull them off while the bomb gets planted. The spam is not going to help. He's behind the boxes. 40 seconds left on that bomb. Blaine from Temple. Yeah, he's going to be in a really, really tough position here. Bobby Bryant is here to help him. But unless he gets some crazy shots off, Alphonius opens up the retake, takes down Tori. He'll give his team man advantage at the very least. Sight flashes come in as well. Not going to affect the players in Donut. He's got one in Cubby as well, watching the red room push, but they're all going to pour onto the site from CT and Temple. Now the smokes are in play. There's a gap in the A main smoke, but it will not matter. Taps the bomb, waits for the spam. Nothing comes of it. Can they get there? Connor finds 2 through the smoke. That's disgusting from Connor. He'll go down as a result, but he secures his team the round, and Alphonius! What the world was that? My God, check his PC. Takes down Junior through the smoke to the wall, and that is going to give House Platypus 4.
Yeah, Connor doing a great job there, going 15-7 so far in this half. So really waking up. This time it's not Alpha that needs to do all the work. So it's good, again, that Bobby and Alpha doing a lot of the work that they get to, or not having to do as much work themselves, able to get something for it. So a good retake from them. We saw there the util is the issue, but this time it's util going to be the issue on the B hit.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They push past the mollies. Here we go. Bobby Bryant finds one. Lights up the third. Bobby Bryant tears them limb from limb. And Stobie finds one, but he is left out of this round, scratching his head, wondering what possibly could have happened. And now he sits bottom ramp trying to find anything to take out of this round. Bobby Bryant, hand on fire, sees one cave as well. He's going to drop a smoke. Instead, elects to have the rifle out. Minute 12 left to go, and it looks all but spoken for. Blaine drops into the smoke. Junior takes out the hot hand, but his team looks ready to close in like a pack of wolves on a moose. Nothing he can do, try as he might. It looks all but over for this first half. House Platypus bring that one back beautifully. More util damage. It's only 1, but it may play a factor after all. Tosses the molly down short. Here's the tick. 42 seconds now. He is just stalling for time, delaying the inevitable. And the rest of House Platypus follows suit. Still paranoid. Cave. Nobody's watching ramp here. If he makes it back around, he could be setting up for a great play. Now, looks like Blaine sets back up for it. He is watching it, but he will not win the fight. Junior is there, makes the play, and Alphonius, a flick shot with a quick scope, and that is going to bring us to a 7-5 half before the side swap.
to be a little bit careful here because Onslaught kind of making the same mistake that House Platypus did in their first half, where they have a really nice lead, but then they kind of overplay their hand. We're seeing a lot of really, in my opinion, silly mistakes coming out from the House or from the Onslaught side to the end of the half. So hopefully they kind of recover here. I think a really interesting thing was how they played their A side in that previous round, and we talked about how some of those A rounds ended. It really just came down to utility, and I think in some of these rounds where you're giving up these free kills on the retakes, it gets tricky. But in this last one, Connor, I believe, doing a great job to hold onto that B side, and well, starting out on the 7-half side, we're gonna have to see, or 7-5 half. I'm curious on how this next half is going to play. Hopefully, it could be a still interesting one, but yet to be known. Still, I want to highlight Connor doing such a great job so far, really leading his team. And what we really need is now a player like Alpha, a player like Bobby, these players to come alive, especially on a map like Ancient where you're given the freedom to do whatever you want. The strat block isn't going to be nearly as deep. So Bobby, Alpha have a lot of room to play with. And now on the T side, they get to call their own shots. They get to set the pacing themselves. They don't have to wait for the T's to walk into them. So I'm curious. I want to see some really aggressive plays here from Alpha, especially maybe some early op peaks towards mid, towards this B side. We didn't get to see a whole lot of that, a whole lot of Jaguar aggression either. But I think this pistol is going to be cool already. Alpha, Connor, 2 smokes, 3 flashes. Looks like we're setting up already for the early mid smoke. I wouldn't be surprised here if they go for a B lean, but I wonder what this execution is going to lead us to. 2 dualies as well for the Onslaught side. Ready for that aggression.
Yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. We got 2 guys, like you said, with the dualies. I'm not exactly a fan of those in the pistol round. They're not nearly as accurate on the move as people think they are. And I think people start to get in the headspace that's like an SMG in the pistol round, and it just really doesn't function that way. Minute 34, and they are just contacting this B play. On the contrary, Onslaught have stacked 3 in cave, so when this util comes in, oh, that smoke's going to be way too deep. Here we go. Adam going to try and find as many as he can. Takes 2. Alphonius trades him out. But an advantaged retake with both sets of dualies still in the round, and Tori makes them pay for it. Finds another 2, and it's Connor left to pick up the pieces. Swings out, finds the first. Quick 2-tap. Now he's got to try and find another. Knows at least one is cave, maybe one more. Now they're all swinging from short. He's heard them. They're going to try and line up for him, but does he have the bullets to make it happen? He does not. Tori with a 3K. Adam with 2. Call it a full house. They count the cards and play the odds. Onslaught are up to 8.
Indeed. You said those dualies aren't SMGs, but they sure as hell sounded like them when Tori's holding them. Spamming all the way down, finding the players. Surprise, they don't actually go for any cave control there. They know they only killed 1 player on the site or into cave, but they don't check it. They don't have anyone holding it, so 1 player crossing, walking over to that long side, and just gets a free kill for Tori. A swing comes out, but still, because they're dualies, 30 bullets in the mag, able to keep on spraying, gets another player onto that B side. And before you know it, the advantage is so far in the favor of Onslaught that House Platypus did not have a chance. Those left Connor in 1v4, and what can you really do there? 16 and 9, can you really ask for more? But at this point, going to be a bit of a force buy coming on through. AK for Bobby, lots of SMGs as well, and the A side to come on quick.
Woo, yep, CT smoke in place. And now pinned in Donut as well. So they're going to continue to try and spam through the smoke. Lots of damage, no kills. Now Junior finds ball from Temple. Junior's got a second with that MP9. He can tear this round apart with his bare hands. Finds the third, has the AK. Now he spams the smoke, and Blaine will go down. That will be all she wrote. And man, House Platypus on the back foot to start this second half.
Really interesting play there. I mean, I like the idea. I like going for the force buy. You got the bomb plant. You're going to try to play your confidence, try to throw, spam in the works. So you have the 1 rifle, put it on the Bobby, see what he can do. I'm surprised you don't put it on someone like, maybe Connor or Alpha. But I guess Bobby, even though he's not quite warmed up to the game, did have a great game last one. So looking for something there. But it was really interesting. I like the idea of going for these aggressive plays, especially because Onslaught had so much util left for the retake. They were willing to wait for it, but then it's just so uncoordinated, so disjointed, these pushes, that they're not worth anything. So at that point, Onslaught didn't even need the util. They could swing on out for free, just win their duels off of the superior weaponry against the pistols, and well, for that, they're able to get the rounds effectively for free, putting House Platypus on the back foot again, giving Onslaught yet another round, potentially a 10th here, because it's only Tech 9s to play with. So although mid control is gains, what really more do you have if you are House Platypus right now? Not even Jag.
Yeah, and now they will take Jag. After a quick fight, Junior takes down Blaine, and now they just line up! Tori finds 3! A triple spray! And that is going to handily end that round. Stovey finishes it off. Onslaught up to double digits, and House Platypus need to stop this bleeding. They got to get something done here in these next few rounds, or it is going to be a done deal.
It's going to be a interesting one. Again, Connor doing a good job doing his role. 10-5 those next 5 rounds, but now we're going to have to see something coming out of here. It's a timeout this time for House Platypus. It's the first gun round and a half. Effectively, so they're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do. Full rifles across the board, no ops in hand. They're just going to go for particularly some kind of take here. Full util for everyone. No ops in play at all. But on the CT side for Onslaught, they're happy with their advantage. They're keeping 2 MP9s in this, so we're likely to see some aggression, potentially toward this donut side, potentially towards this Jaguar side on the extremities of the map. I'm curious what they're going to do here, what kind of play they have. Again, Onslaught with such a lead, they don't need to upgrade this early on, so happy to keep the MP9 on the Junior, on the stable, especially with the MP9 round we saw from Junior just previously.
Yeah, I mean, they're keeping it interesting, that's for sure. Taking the time out, we may potentially see House Platypus do something interesting with this round here. They're looking like they're going into this one with what could be described as a full buy. Some guys are missing a little bit of utility, but you'll have that from time to time. On the T side, that's not nearly as punishing when you don't have a full belt. So, with all that being said, things not looking good for House Platypus here at the start of the second half. We'll see what they want to do to try and shift the outcome. Opening mid-utility exchanged. Smoke broken. Bobby's going to get aggressive off of it. Nothing comes of it. And now they're fighting for mid. Now the kills come out. Junior's got 2 with an MP9 against the odds and against the clock. Junior!
Right. Okay.
Oh my goodness! What a shot from him! Alphonius didn't even have a clue what happened. Adam strikes on the B site. Ball finds 1. Now, he's got an impossible task in front of him. It would be a 1v5, and he won't get more than that. Junior, 4 kills in the round. A great play from him, and that is going to put Onslaught on 11.
Yeah, House Platypus awkward mid fight there. They get utiled out, yes, but you're ready for that. And then they swing, they see the players, but then just whiff all the shots. They back on up and then just get free peeked by Onslaught. 11-5. That was not the round I was expecting. That was your first gun round. That's what you're gonna do. And now this time you're coming in with just glills in hands. Your util isn't gonna be as strong this time either. So this time you're gonna go for a bit of a B hit, maybe fight with Jaguar position. But again, just such a round that you're falling flat on. And it looks like you might actually give an opportunity here for Onslaught to move on to map 3. If you can't find anything, another desperate play comes in, and equally desperate, Bobby walking through a smoke and a flashbang. No one blind. Everyone can see how silly that was. That might fall equally as flat.
Oh my god! It all falls apart. House Platypus, they just look completely smothered right now. There's nothing they can do. Every single move feels like the wrong one. Alphonius finds 1 here in the 1v4, but he's quickly killed from behind. I mean, they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping that it somehow works or catches the enemy off guard. But Onslaught, wise to all their tricks, 5 in a row now is their round win streak, and they are 1 round away from taking us to Mirage.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I mean, we've seen a lot of really good plays so far. These teams seem to be putting up some good numbers. But here, and speaking of numbers, Alpha, Bobby, some players we got to highlight aren't looking so good right now. So they need to wake up. This is their last chance to do so. Alpha going to buy no utility. Actually has the 1 smoke, but fix the AK. Going to try to make some moves. And this time, we're seeing some A aggression, some A hits with line in mid. But Corey ready to hold. That's going to be the rifle to fall as well. So what, the Mag 10 trade? Not going to happen this time. And rifles towards mid as well. It's a 4v3 with a minute 30 on the clock already.
Oh my gosh, man, this is so hard to watch. Unfortunately, I agreed to do it, so here we are. Minute 20 to go. As, yeah, things not exactly in House Platypus's favor. They know that the rest of the game is on the line here. They do not want to see Mirage, but that looks all but inevitable, especially because Adam's going to be able to see over a chunk of that smoke. If they push in a red room, it could potentially be the last thing they do. Minute left to go. Oh, is he going to walk this smoke? Don't tell me. No, he's just going to stay where he's at. 57 seconds, and it's really difficult to determine their plan here, and they're both going to go down. It's Junior, like a wraith from the shadows, rips their heads from their shoulders, and Stobie finishes it off. Your final score, 13-5, and House Platypus never stood a chance. Onslaught gets their map in this best of 3, and Mirage is all but set.
On the Onslaught indeed. had a really strong showing at the end of Nuke, and well, really putting up some numbers this time, 13-5, a great showing from them. But I guess we'll have to see who closes out into the next map. It's going to be an interesting one if House Platypus could get their game together for map number 3.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, though, this has been a great best of 3 to watch so far. We've got one more map left to go in this heavyweight boxing match. It is going to be a great map 3, an iconic map 3 at Mirage. Been in the game since good old 99, and we will take you to that momentarily after a quick break. Don't go far, because when we are back, it'll be Onslaught versus House Platypus on map 3.
Vá pro vácuo, me leva pro teu barraco, me faz bolar de sinuca e me taco, taco, taco. Eu digo na treta, 5 minutinhos, mano a mano, tete a tete.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SOFLO SLAM 2, and this will be our third place game between Onslaught and House Platypus Esports Club. And you can see the vetoes from earlier. We meant to talk about them, but unfortunately we had some technical difficulties displaying them. So in case you were curious who picked what, here you go. And this will be valuable information for all of us moving forward. Now that that is out of the way, Mirage, a map that has been in Counter-Strike since 1999. A lot of history, a lot of great moments, a lot of low moments. Techni, walk me through this map. What's going to be key for both teams to win this thing?
I mean, well, Mirage is largely a solved map. You said it's been in the map pool for such a long time, so I'm curious about what's going to happen here. Both teams obviously willing to float it. In regards to the map picks, we saw that some of these players, or rather, both teams won their own map picks. So this is going to be the real battleground that it's going to be. Ideally, you're going to have a lot of lurk control, a lot of these palace lurks, but again, largely solved map. I don't think there's going to be any area under contest in specifically that's going to be like the hot point. Obviously, mid such a big thing, but here it's going to be an early A hit. Look at this. It's going to be a cool fake, actually. They have one player through the util, and then look, this lower player is going to start making some noise. They already rotate two players off, and with that, this is similar to what we saw Onslaught do previously. This fake, and now one player to upper. They have four players on B, and they realize it. Hopefully, it looks like Onslaught was going to start calling it now. Only one player's here, but three players going to walk out of A site effectively for free.
Yep. It'll all come down to Ball. See if he just waits for the cavalry to arrive. It looks like he will. The problem is the rotates are much faster, but Adam is even quicker and even has his back as well. My goodness. Spreads his wings and flies all the way through CT. Stovey trying to bait out some shots. And what was a 5v3 retake? Bobby Bryant, that's disgusting. 33 seconds now in the 2v2 as the round blown wide open. Now anybody's game, but that's a hard angle to fight on pistols. Blaine tries to push up, takes some positioning. Bobby Bryant's got another, and Bobby Bryant, that is incredible. Takes their heads and puts them on sticks. Trophies for the trophy case. And that is gonna give House Platypus the first round.
Really clean shots there. A shot over toward the headshot on the jumping player, the jump peak on CT side, and then one on the headshot position, and then last on to, well, this last bullet on a triple as well. So really good plays from there. Onslaught, some good ideas, and honestly, it got a little bit scary because their timing was off. They rotated or pushed in a little bit too late. So they didn't quite get the open, completely site that they wanted, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. House Platypus able to clean up the rounds, do such a good job there for Bobby Bryant. But just Glocks in this round, 1 tech 9 for Adam. Shouldn't see too much. Even does have a deagle as is Junior, and they're going to be working up toward this mid side. But no one's going to be giving any free kills over. They know how dangerous this is going to be on Platypus. So it's going to lay 3-2, give up mid entirely, focus on the superior weaponry, take these fights at range. But they might get close here. It's going to be the connector play.
Yeah, pile out of this smoke, and they get the first. Connor takes one with a nade and two with the SMG. Make it 3, and he finds 4 to make it 2-0. A great play from Connor, and that'll set up House Platypus beautifully for this next round.
Yeah, good job there. Connor getting all those kills with the MP9 there. Is going to be able to afford the op over for Alpha, so that's what you wanted to see. And he's able to recover the A1S as well. So that's going to be the op round coming into fruition. Tori to pick up an op of his own. So full gun round into play, except Bali does have the MP9, but he's going to be looks like playing over toward this. Oh, actually A side playing close on A, but mid control to come to fruition. Only one player to start off on A. Deep apartment smokes going to forge one player towards B, and now mid control coming in. Flashes, smokes, and cat taken.
Yep. We'll see if they decide to commit to this or if they're going to freeze. Connor still gone undetected in bottom mid for the time being. Now he elects to play around this smoke. Might catch the chair player off guard. Tori has no idea, but Connor elects to just fall back, keep his life intact. And with mid and short control, the round continues to be up in the air. Junior swinging from Palace. Nobody else activates off that. Looks like they're setting up for B.
Yeah, interesting peek to go on there. I think he might have thought he isolated the fight, but Connor did rotate all the way up the connector. Technically had a solo play, but still, now the rotation's coming in. This will be a very, very hard take, especially as your cat player falls.
So it's going to be 3 from Abs through a smoke. It's not likely, but I do believe in there. Stovey finds one, will not find the second. Even trades him out, finds Tori too, trying to go for the third. Can he get it? Stobie finds his second. It's Bobby Bryant now uses the smoke to his advantage. Now that it's faded, however, he's going to have more problems. 35 seconds. He doesn't exactly have the time to be waiting around. With the bomb on the ground, he's got to get moving. 30 seconds. Alphonius thinks he's already dropped, but that is not the case. Now he swings out on Cat. Nobody willing to give him a 1v1. Stobie now firing from the balcony, give away his position, and Alphonius takes full advantage. 3 in the round, and that AWP proves to be a very good investment.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the game, but these are 3 players you're going to see picking up already. Alpha, Bobby, Connor, these players starting off really, really strong, 5-2, 5-1, and 4-1 respectively. So these are the players who you saw do really good, not just in the last game, but in the games previous. But now all 3 players getting warmed up for the game. Once again, no pistols for Onslaught. This time grouped up towards A main. Ooh, and a little nade's going to take Tori. Not like it really matters though. No head armor is going to be easy to get a headshot regardless at this range. Smokes come on through, some util. It's going to be a quick A hit. Maybe try to catch someone off guard, but the Robbie with off his own actually going to be finding it. About find and stable.
Yeah, and it looks like it's all just going to be concluded right there. Stobie does find one. That rifle is empty, and I think he realizes it at this point. It's a single shot through the smoke, but it looks like it is just kind of a done deal. He's going to be much more forward than expected, but Blaine takes him down, and House Platypus are up to 4.
Not much you really ask for. You would need some miracle shots that come on through and some major whiffs from Platypus, so you don't see that. Instead, you see a pretty clean round. So double op, now they know because Bobby got the opening frag, and they know that Alpha's the opper, and that was toward that second position. So you're going to see some sort of readjustment here for Onslaught. How are they going to deal with this double op? That's going to be the question. You know one of these ops is likely going to go towards mid, right? 100%. But where's the second one going? This time, last round, it was over that ticket booth. This time, it's over towards Cat. We're actually toward this B side, going for a deep apps peak, but no op on the A side. Actually to hold. Just 2 rifles against the 5 rifles. The 5 AKs Onslaught. Playing close, though. Might be ready for this.
Yep, they're going to be piling out of pallets like a clown car. Problem is, ball is there. He'll find one nut to Junior, gets the trade. And now the smokes come in. This fight CT determines everything. Blaine's got 2. He stops the bomb plan as well. Minute 20, and he's opened up the round. He is going to get traded out. The smoke's still in play. It's going to be all on Alphonius for the time being. And he's going to be smoked off as well. So, quick break. Might decide it. Finds him. Junior not ready. And that is going to leave a very quick 1v3. Adam RS takes him down. And things will slow down.
Plenty of time and plenty of kills. 1 versus 1.
Yep, Adam, he's going to be there. And now, if he hops that smoke, he's not going to like to do that. But with the bomb on the ground, bomb on his back, re-smoke CT. He knows it was a right click, so he knows he's close. 40 seconds, he walks out with a tech.
Oh my God!
He runs out of bullets! He simply did not have the ammo, and it costs him dearly.
He was destined to die there, but somehow, from Jaws of defeat, it's going to be Alpha. That's a mouse breaker moment. Like, how do you miss that? That's unfortunate. Plenty of bullets in the mag, but can't quite get the kill. Obviously use it, but still a tricky one. Hopefully just being able to laugh that one off still. 4-1 though. Onslaught picking up their first, just barely somehow, with some sheer luck, quite candidly. So yeah, honestly take a bit of a timeout after that one. And it sucks though, because if you're on the House Platypus side, you have the double op set up, and retakes are incredibly hard with double ops. But still, it was Blaine to get so many kills in the hole there that allowed these double ops to actually still come in, have a chance on the retake. But it's unfortunately it's the Tech 9 that fails them at the end of the day, and what we see the struggle with that double op can mean for a retake.
Yeah, I mean, especially with how well Alphonius played that, but like you said, right, we cannot isolate 1v1s in this situation. You've got yourself a 1v3 against a guy like that. You cannot give him an inch of room or he is going to take a mile, and that is exactly what happened. So we'll see what they do to go into this next round. Money not exactly in a super great spot. Connor's going to need a drop from somebody, and his util options are going to be limited.
Yeah, scrappy for both teams here. Both teams have op and SMG. So interesting. 3M4s, 3 AKs, and op, and MP9 on this side. So let's see how this time plays out. This time, only one op to play with for Alpha. He's going to be working back toward this mid side this time, toward this connector area.
Uh-oh.
So 2 players towards connector. And it's going to be mid control. 2 to the lower. Quick walk out towards A, and Dry Junior overextending his hand just a little bit there. Now leaves the mid players alone. That's going to be tricky.
That is going to lower that cast considerably. Leadify is not going to like that one. Minute 27 as they boost up in a window. Once again, not looking the right way, but instead Connor likes to fall back, keep his life intact. Smart move for the time being. We'll see how it develops into the round. Another smoke to try and get him away. Meanwhile, Stoby here's the man cat. So with a minute 10, mid-control established and hanging by a thread, we'll see what Onslaught decide to do.
Really aggression, and they have the man advantage, but they attack with mid-control. But ooh, Alpha pushed all the way up with that op into the app position, finds one, no one there to trade. Now that side of the map's gone, as is the mid position. So now the entire round crumbles. Tori toward top mid, not gonna be able to do too much with this op. One player towards TV, lots of T's, but they're about to find the L, unfortunately. It looks like op not gonna be able to do too much. 5 versus 2, 39 seconds on the clock, and a save on the cards.
Yeah, not really much you can do here in the 2v5. Because like I said earlier, I do believe in miracles, but, I mean, this is a gamble of long odds, even with God on your side. I mean, there's just not really a whole lot you can do in this situation. So as the seconds tick down, we'll see Onslaught surrender round number 6 over to House Platypus pretty handily. Not really a whole lot of resistance.
That was a really, really flat round. I mean, it was just a lot of dry peaks. You have one player, I believe, the first player just walking out dry A, which was almost a good idea, but he walks into 3 players onto A. So even though, yeah, you got unlucky that the one player was ready for you, that's all he had to watch. You got 2 other players who connected. That's what we're going to get. Then the adjustment is you have one player walk into apps, completely dry, into the op. You boost someone into window, yes, but it's so late that they're ready for it. They see the person. You walk in as the smoke's already fading. So the player, within a P9, it's a window. It's the SMG playing the window. And still, you miss the timing on there, so you lose that control as well. So all the plays you make just don't make any sense. All the plays are disadvantageous. It's like the wrong play in every single position. The op never actually even gets to deactivate. Still, Tori, 0 and 5. The op, I don't think even fired a single round in that round. So a little unfortunate and a really easy round, candidly, for the House Platypus side.
Yeah, and I mean, the money situation not exactly help with a save either. Yes, you keep your weapons in utility, but the problem is you don't get any money, right? Look at the cash. Everybody is very, very strapped here. If Adam dies in this round, he is not going to be set up super great for the next one, and he's their best gunner right now. They got to keep a rifle in his hands if they want to have a chance in this game. Meanwhile, on the House Platypus side, they just got to keep doing what they're doing, you know, just keep establishing that map control and keep dictating the pace. If you can dictate the pace of the game from the CT side, man, you are doing something right. House Platypus has been doing that so far.
Yeah, what we're going to see, we need Tori to kind of do what he did on Nuke and take some actual plays himself. He's the opper. He needs to be going for some more of these aggressive. I feel like every time I see him, he's kind of in the mid-round or later rounds, like trying to go for some picks, but not really starting the round off. He tries to do it here, so a good start, but he's actually going to eat a lot of util, and candidly, that is util that you should be expecting on the A side. They've been throwing that util every single round, especially with 3 players on A, they're going to have it, but it's actually a bit of a risk. It's going to be a mid play, or rather a B play. Here, baiting out the util, or baiting out the Deagles. It's Adam to try to get the refrags.
One man is watching. It is Blaine. He sees the first cross, but he can't quite hit the shots. Now he's running out of bullets. He gets the molly down, but they're pushing too fast. They're simply too aggressive, and he's going to live on the cross as well. Ball finds Junior elsewhere, but it's Adam and Tori to both make it into the site. Bomb has yet to go down. Now they commit to the plant. It's going to be too little too late. It cost him his life as well. Tori is there, makes the play. Now, 3v4, 4v4, still be on 1 HP, and with 30 seconds left, the molly fades. They've got to get moving. Not a lot of time left in this retake. You might think it's a good bit, but you'd be surprised at how quickly it can fade, especially with how deep-rooted these guys are. Onslaught looks set for round number 2. They can't quite find the shots. Adam takes him down with a rifle. Connor takes him down as well, but now Adam and Bull both find the kill. 2v2. Here we go. Bull's got himself another, and he's got to root Tori out of apps. Can't quite get it done. Finds the shot. Ball's gonna now take Alphonius, and he does. Tori with a great play in that round. 3 kills, and he will get away alive to boot. Onslaught find their second.
Yeah, great round. I mean, it's curious. They played the retake entirely on B, knowing that they have the op in the rifle. They give up mid control entirely as well. So House Platypus did not have a lot of cards to play with there. They expect the retake to be easy, but they walk into the op, they walk into the rifle. It was a little bit scary. Adam had all of his util by the time he died. Well, he died with all of his util, so I thought that round would be a little bit easier for House Platypus than it actually was, but it doesn't really go their favor. This time, though, aggressing towards mid, not wanting giving it up, but you got the right call. You have 2 players ready to rotate towards A, though. 4 players ready to rotate towards A, and well, equally as many on the other side for Onslaught as the X team comes to first.
Uh-oh, they are already pushing past it. Sobi takes down Ball. And that is going to be all of the A-site defense. Everybody else is smoked off. They're going to try and get something into CT, but at this point, it's just pointless. Now more nade damage raids in. 5v4. If you're House Platypus, do you even go for this? Look at how much they've set up for this retake. And with 30 seconds left on the bomb, it just simply does not look likely.
Really good round there for Onslaught. And I mean, that's the implications of what happens. You lose this round, or you lose the previous round, but House Platypus just doesn't have the utility anymore. They don't have an HE to break that smoke. So even though you have 4 players grouped up on this A half of the map, a singular smoke, 2 smokes, Stayer and Jungle. After that, they get into sight for free. No HEs to disrupt, no util to disrupt as well. So none of these rifles get to actually make any plays. So yeah, you get some mid control, but at what cost? One player swings out from the palace side, and no one's there to hold or to trade. Gets the free kill into the site, and it's only 1 kill, the magic bullet that finds the 3rd round for Onslaught.
Yep, they close the gap to 2 here on the T side. Looking much more convincing here in this stage of the game. Second quarter, 4 rounds away from being over.
Yeah, 5-3. Still plenty of time, and now we get another buy coming out. Ball, once again, a little bit lower on util, on weapons, plane. Does have util, but also the MP9, so it's going to be a tricky one. This time, using their weapon disadvantage, going to go for some A main aggression. We're not terribly uncommon, and we're right next to each other, but the main front is going to be towards mid.
Uh-oh.
This, and the flash goes in, but it actually blinds his teammate. Oh, it was a little bit scary. Bit of a team flash, but it works out anyway. Ball to find Junior. Now the weapon disadvantage. Ooh, fading away, but on the other half, before it even it out.
Yep, they're going to find those kills elsewhere. Now they elect to go mid to A. That Molly ramp is going to slow him down. Tori finds one as well. Now he fights from Tetris. It's not going to be enough. Stoby quick to trade him out, and it's going to be Blaine in a 1 versus 3. Won't find the con player. It's Adam who takes him out. And now Onslaught have 4. And look at the money for House Platypus. Onslaught looks set to take the lead.
Yeah, where did you see where those 2 players died at all?
No, I imagine it was somewhere in mid because they elected to go mid to A. So I imagine they killed them somewhere in mid, but it's undetermined at this time.
Yeah, that was a little bit scary there. I mean, you get the A main control, you get the A main pick despite it looked like a team flash, so you're still able to get recover regardless. But it doesn't matter when you lose all your position towards mid. But not much you can really do there, and well, not much you can really do here either. I mean, pistols, deagles, we've seen what you can do before, but this round should be a bit of a wash. Should be a 5-5 score, tying it up, and well, that's what you expect on a 3rd map here. Flashes come on through, 2 players hold, should be relatively. I mean, they don't overextend, and yeah, they will beat us that. So tying it up 5-5, and like I said, it's what you expect on the 3rd map. Both these teams comfortable. This is the map that was floated, and well, we're only a few rounds away now. End of the half, the Twilight Hours, 2 more rounds left to play with. If House Platypus lose this round, then they will be giving up a 7-5 half. Onslaught with plenty of money. Don't have to worry about anything for the remainder of the half. So just a couple things left to worry about. No off, or actually, yeah, off there for Alphonius, but still Blaine on the MP9. This is a bit of an issue that we're seeing. The money just never looked good. Someone always relegated down to a worse weapon. We talked about it before. He was 0-5 earlier, but now he's 5-5. So able to get 5 in a row, bringing it back to his favor. Off pick not going to go his way. Only 2 players at this A side this time. With the minute 30 in the clock, mid control for free once again for Onslaught.
Yeah, really not hanging on to mid is House Platypus. They just don't want to lose any more bodies on that side of the map. And while I get that style of thinking, at the end of the day, if you don't have mid, or at the very least make them work for it, you're just kind of setting yourself up for failure because you're going to put 3 guys on one side, 2 on the other, and they're just going to find out who's where. Adam, great start, drops Blaine with some help from the flash with Tori, and now Connor down the ladder. Junior takes him, but Ball finds a collapse spray. He's quick for the grave, but that does give his team a chance. 2v3 on this retake. Already mollied off is Bobby Bryant. He is going to like to jump, and Alphonius will follow through. So now the nade in the smoke going to crack it, but it is not looking likely in this retake.
Not at all 3 versus 5. There's a chance, though. Kit here for Alpha. It's going to be a difficult mistake from Ollie. Ooh, well, not the mistake you wanted to see. On the wrong side instead. Nothing taken for it. Smoke go down. Another ball comes on out. The flashbang is good. Ooh. Able to get Bobby. Now Alpha with the op in the 1 versus 3. Electing to get out of there. The money is just going to be really, really, really bad here for House Platypus. See if he can do anything with the op into the next round, but well, it's in the cards. No money left for House Platypus. 5-6, and might be just a 5-7 unless we can see something coming out here. And a little bit scary on the A side. You had the XP coming on through, but couldn't really get much done with it. You had all these players on the A side, but no one to find the frags. Connor making noise on top of the scaffolding there, gonna give away his position. It does set up Ball to get 2 kills, but is it really worth it at that point when you're losing so much? Not the bait and switch that you want to see. He needs to get at least 1 more there. So hopefully we can see something different here. Yeah, once again, another shoddy buy from House Platypus. It seems like they've just never had the economy to get the full rifles that we wanted to see. 2 from us's, MP7, 3 towards A. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Junior already striking early in the round. Ball takes one as well. Alphonius answers. So 3v4 after the opening picks are exchanged. Onslaught in the disadvantage. Have a good bit of map control as a result. But now the round is going to slow down. Re-smoke into window. And we'll see them try and set up. The bomb looks like it wants to lean B here. But underpass is also an option to try and group up in mid and maybe hit something. When you're in the man disadvantage on the T side, it's usually the best way to go about it. It's just group up and hit something together so that you've got man advantage in the swings, and now they're going to walk right in front of one another in the smoke. If Adam walks the smoke, that'd be insane. Blaine doesn't even realize the play he's pulled off. Adam goes down. Now the HC not going to land in time even there to make the trade, but Alphonius quick to answer, and he finds the second as well. Alphonius not taking any prisoners, and House Platypus tie up this first half.
Yeah, pretty easy 6-6. Very interesting to see there. I mean, that was a really big mistake to come out, I believe, from the Onslaught slide. Just now I want to see, I mean, you're coming out through this mid smoke, but then you don't get the trade immediately. In fact, you get the opportunity because the player on short pulls out a nade, so you get the trade, but then the op is never ever distracted. The apps player just takes way too long to come out. So I believe it was Alphonius with the op on site, just never has to look at apartments ever. So it doesn't have to worry about that. And the player from apps doesn't ever swing to clear the cat guy. But still, a pistol round to come into play. We're going to see some util again. 2 flashes, smoke molly. This time, no dualies, your most hated weapon. We'll have pistols instead, or USPSs instead. 2 toward the underpass, 1 toward the ticket, and that's all to hold on A before the exit comes into fruition.
Yep, and it is gonna be a big fight here. They were ready. They thought they were ready, but Bobby Bryant says otherwise. He said, you cannot be ready for a player like me, and they're gonna push these smokes as well. Bomb, will it follow suit? It might. Instead, it heads towards the site. Bobby Bryant, even and Paul, all finding kills. So now a 2v4 after it's all said and done. Plant starts to go down. Junior trying to take anything out of this round, sees the head, finds it, trying to find another, can't quite get it done. It's a now running from CT. This has been heard by Bobby Bryant and calm to his teammates. They're just going to get in position so they can all shoot him together. He'll find 1, not 2. Ball quick to answer, and House Platypus, for the first time in a while, have taken back the lead.
Yeah, good job to do so. Good hold, and some clean shots to come on through as well. So quick A hit to come on. But that's just a pistol. You have to make sure they recover this. We've seen how dangerous these pistols can be in some previous rounds, especially on Nuke and on Ancient. So hopefully they can get a clean up here. Not much to say into the previous, but 2 Mac-10s to make sure they could farm some money. Alphonius pick up the Galil AK, but on the other side, you got just a Deagle. Looks like 2 5.7s, 3 5.7s potentially as well. So might look to do some damage. And this is actually something I didn't get to see a lot of in the previous round, is some palace aggression, right? I'm surprised that Alphonius didn't go for a lot of aggressive plays at the op here, so maybe we'll see Tori try to replicate that success. But one player already deep into the... Obviously, it's around one player pushed towards top mid, but again, this is the kind of info that you're going to be wanting to get. So hopefully they can carry some of this aggression over for this round. Again, it doesn't really work out. It is the pistol round. It doesn't have the weapons to make the most of it. So House Platypus having a pretty easy job just cleaning up these pistols, at least early on. But that's going to be the key, and that's something we really missed out on after that the aggression toward the A side. Alpha had the op a lot in the rounds, but couldn't really get much with it done on the A side. Had deep apartment peaks, but never for a palace peak. So a little bit curious, especially since you're giving up mid every single round. But that was last half. Into this half, Tori does have a Mac-10 on the long side of this half. Spots out 1 player, and this round's going to be a quick cleanup, which should be players low.
And Tori will find 1 with his Soul and Mac-10. The other 2 players are low here. So this is absolutely possible if he catches him sleeping. But Ball, quick to fire, rips his head from his shoulders, and that is going to make it 8-6.
Yep, so a little bit scary there on the HP, but for the most part, you're not really losing too much. Good job, but now it's going to be So another interesting round. Onslaught did this in the previous round as well. So instead of opting to buy into this round, they go for a half buy again. So this is kind of like Counter-Strike Go, where you force buy on the second round, but this time they're force buying on the third round in order to get a better buy into the next. You just have MP9, some armor behind it, but not really looking to win this one. Just looking to do some damage, maybe go for an aggressive play. Here, they're going to aggressive towards A main. And it might be the right call. Bombs on this side of the map. They got one person in the palace, and look, regrouping here is House Platypus. So they could be walking into a bit of a MP9 stack. Look how close these players are. If they don't use Util correctly, this could be a very scary round.
Yep, minute 25 left to go, and you can see the mouse walking towards the mousetrap. The question is, will he be dexterous enough to grab the cheese? House Platypus, the util comes out. Tori playing anti-flash, now turns as it comes out. It'll find two with the MP9, drops the bomb, forces the commitment. Stoby finds another. Connor trades out Tori. They know they stop balcony. They have to get there. He finds another. That is unbelievable. Connor left in a 1v2 and the fast flank from Junior. Gonna cause even more problems. Oh my goodness, it's like a horror movie that you can't look away from. And Junior strikes again to give Onslaught round number 7. Far from out of this game.
Yeah, I wanted to say it was like almost a mistake, because typically speaking, like, you don't want to walk to a stack like that, like go straight into an execute, maybe default a little bit. But at the same time, you're not really expecting the other team to be stacking with MP9s. That is just so unusual. In their heads, they're probably looking for a full buy, and it's costing them. They just can't recover this. Suddenly, why are there 3 players close A main with SMGs? What is this play? So they weren't quite ready for it. This time, though, it's going to be them on this advantage. 3 AKs in hands, 2 Tech 9 Deagle, quick mid position.
Yeah, and now already the fight ringing out in mid, losing one of their rifles, Stoby. A great play right there, taking one of the key tools away from them, and now Junior strikes with a double kill, unable to do anything to counter it. And now it's Bobby Bryant who will go down. Junior walking the smoke. Ball's got a double kill. Now the round heats up, but it all comes to a boil as Onslaught find it with a final kill from Adam. We once again have a tie ball game.
Yeah, Stavy doing a good job. That was a really close round. Honestly, if Stavy gets that kill there, I reckon the round could go the other way. There's a lot to go into position for House Platypus. They had a lot of control. And again, Onslaught didn't really play for mid that round, so I'm curious if they're going to be doing the same thing House Platypus is going to do, not playing for mid as much as House Platypus didn't. This time, just pistols in hand. Once again, 2 flashes, Glocks across the board. It looks like they're going to go for a Palace pop. Try to overwhelm the one player toward the ticket booth, but there shouldn't be too much to be said. Evan, I just have the 1 HE. Ready for a smoke, but that's never going to come. Flashbang to come on out, dunking HE, breaks his gun back out, cost rotations, and a plant might be on the cards here. But ooh, Junior could be swinging wide.
Yeah, even just wanting to not play this too impressively finds the great transfer. Bobby Bryant able to drop him with the Glock, and it should be quick clean up from here. Junior finds him with a rifle, so the bomb plant able to be grabbed by House Platypus, and Junior continues to clean up. That will be that. So with the bomb plant down, their economy is in a much better situation than it would have been, but dropping around obviously never feels good.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward now that we're going to be into the, 20th round of play? Or no, 18th round of play, and this is the first round of this half. So, because both teams have been forcing, and it's been a little bit awkward, but now we can finally see it. Again, bomb plant, pretty good. You can't really ask for anything more than that. They did good to get that even, so happy with that. They're just going to be assessing what they want to do into this one. A good timeout to be called. Alpha not going to be able to consider the op into this round unless he wants to go for a glass cannon here. It could be a little bit scary, but how confident is he feeling? 13 and 11 right now, not having as much success as he did on the nuke side of things. On puggier maps, it looks like it's a little bit harder for him to get going just because, well, the aim duel is just everywhere. Sometimes you can't really outbrain your opponents, and yeah, not going to go for the op, not going to go for the glass cannon. Instead, going to be balancing his economy, staying with the rest of the team on these rifles, and letting Tori be the lone op on the server for now. Good money for Onslaught, good padding as well behind it, especially off the back of their string of rounds. Just to be able to just close out. We'll see what they can do into this one. I'm curious how they're going to take this. I want to see what House Platypus has on the cards, what they're going to be doing into this one, and how they're going to adjust, what kind of plays they're going to go for. Unless A execute is all they really have. It looks like that's all they've really done so far. So hopefully going to see some slower mid control. Hopefully going to see some good B hits, some cat hits. I want to see them grab control. I'd like to see someone sneak into ladder. That'd be kind of cool. We'll have someone set someone up there. Something you see pretty often, but I haven't seen it so far in this game.
Yeah, we'll just, yeah. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. I mean, these guys, like you said, they're very scrappy teams, and they are pulling out all the stops to win this game. So, Tori, into ladder, just like you wished for. But nobody too eager to walk out into mid so far. That smoke isn't going to last forever, though. If they want to get somebody to cart, they have to do it now, and they do so. Smoke fades, Blaine in position. Now they could start taking mid. Problem is, there's somebody there that would like to stop them. So with a minute 20 left to go, Connor reveals his position with a gunshot. Instead elects to stow the smoke for the time being. Taking a lot of time here is House Platypus. Blaine finds a shot onto Tori. Nobody can strike to find a trade. Now Junior gets it done. Great flash from Stovey. So 4v4 with mid control finally being gained by House Platypus. Their options open up.
Rotating the player around, have an op work toward the B side instead, letting the rifle be a little bit more dynamic in these closer ranges to try to clear. The flashbang is going to be pretty bad. Connor going to be team flash, Molly to come out, but this time, one player to walk off the app, still too late. It's going to be Ball to fall, and well, Junior going to get another kill as well. And that's going to leave Bobby alone on this side of the map. So even though they're able to get mid control effectively for free, right? They walk out, get the quick pick onto the op, and not ready for the low angle onto the mid side. Even though they get that, it's just not going to go in their favor. They lose players everywhere across the map. A little bit awkward. That team flash does cost them. I reckon if that's not a flash there, then they should be good to go. They were ready for the op, but just couldn't quite get past it. So gets team flash, pushes in anyway, gets fragged up with the AK. Ball's a little too slow on the rifle, and another round to be found from Onslaught. Double digits this time, 10-8 here on map number 3.
Yep. Onslaught just kind of manhandled them in that round. The main thing that I want to point out is how in the beginning, right, Ball was able to find that kill in mid, or excuse me, Blaine was able to find that kill in mid, and nobody was in position to trade, right? That's very, very dangerous. Onslaught very lucky to get away with the fact that just nobody was in any kind of position to trade him. Stovey was able to set it up late with a flash for Junior to swing out of bottom con, but that is not a super great weakness to have if you guys are playing that far apart in mid.
Yeah, a little bit tricky, but also, you know, the counterpoint, unfortunately, is that Tori is the opper. You don't expect him to get fragged out. You're aware of what the economy looks like on the Platypus side, so you know they're not going to have an op, but realistically, they shouldn't have an op. So you're letting Tori get that free kill. You expect him to not really need to get traded. Realistically, the op should be getting a kill if he's not getting flashed. And if there's a flashbang that comes off, Tori could fall off the angle. Instantly, the cat player can kind of rotate off, but you needed that. The other player that was there to trade him was the B player, and he was holding the app side, so it get a little bit tricky. I get the idea there, but I just got to give it to House Platypus there, just getting that quick kill. That is not a kill that anyone should be getting, but Tori unfortunately just hasn't really been the opper that Alpha has been on the other side of the map. But himself, Alpha, not doing so good either. Again, hasn't had the impact. 13 and 12, not really what you want to see so far from a player like him who normally lights up the scoreboard. Similarly, Connor, Bobby, players aren't really putting up. Instead, you're living onto someone like Ball, who's for the first time in the series waking up, doing, you know, some okay numbers. But what do numbers mean when you're down 10-8?
Yeah, the gap now extends to 2. Pressure begins to mount as we grow closer to the end of this game. And a minor team flash aside, that one much better than the last one, but Evan's still not blind, and now they tear him apart. The Russian, not able to find the ground that it needs, has to run through the flames. Both